Can you imagine somebody watching our stuff right now is going to be inspired to do something like that, and they can take it to a whole nother level?
I hope so.
I think the best way to describe it now is like almost like being a recruiter, recruiting talent.
My objective walking out of that interview was to ensure that I asked the questions that I know the community wants to hear asked, right?
Wow, that's not the answer I was expecting. You actually got me genuinely laughing right now. Is $1,000 in one card worth more than $1,000 in 20 cards?
Man, that's tough. It depends on what's your play.
What's up, everybody? What is going on? I'm FD. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here. So we got special guests today. We have J Mike out of Houston. And we have Erica, Love What You Collect, out of Philadelphia. And right now I'm going to bring in J Mike. J Mike!
What's still?
What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Trying to get ready, man. Trying to get ready.
It's good to see you. Good to see you.
Same.
All right, you got some things over there. Okay.
Yeah, this is my my Jordan shrine. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Has every starting lineup in existence. Actually, I lied. I'm missing the Isaiah Thomas dual starting lineup. Only reason why is that during the hype, it jumped up to like over $1,000.
Isaiah Thomas. So it must have been a short print.
It just was hype. It was around the Last Dance. You know what I'm saying? So Pistons, Jordan, Isaiah, Jordan. So that one just went through the roof. That one it was like super expensive. So I was like about a month late on purchasing that one. And by the time I got on, it was a wrap.
Okay. All right. Cool. So what's been going on, man? What's new and exciting?
How's
the training going?
Well, training is training. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting ready for bench nationals, defend my title. Actually, I just broke the American record in the 308 division. I had the super heavyweight record. I still have that, but now I've dropped a weight class. I took that record, and now I'm going to break that record again in a couple of months. So just getting ready for it. I don't really have competition like that in that weight class for me. So it's just like just trying to, do better than I did the last time type thing.
So now I saw you curling, right?
Yeah.
So break down to the people who may not know, how does curling and tricep work improve, or what does it do with your bench press?
Well, bigger your arms are, the more it has to push off of. Mm-hmm. Over the years, it's like, when I came into powerlifting, my biceps were like 21 inches. But I started deadlifting, and when you deadlift and you're that tight, your biceps are that tight, you're at risk of tearing a bicep.
So tell people that.
Yeah, you'll tear your biceps. So I kind of stopped doing it. So I haven't done no bicep work in 5 years. My arms are still, big. You know what I'm saying? So now I feel I turned 45 in a couple of months. So I'm going to actually, do a little bit more in my training this time around, just to push it a little bit further. I can't expect, just to, out talent everybody, you know what I'm saying? So there's some competition coming. So I just thought it might be best for me to tap into another source of training. But doing all the other stuff, I was just better than everybody, so I kind of just was cruising. But, I'm motivated now to really try to bench press 700 pounds. So in order for me to do that, I'm not going to take drugs or anything. So I might as well tap into something that I haven't ever done. So we're going to be doing accessory work.
Well, a lot of people don't really understand how the entire body works. Like you talking about doing a deadlift. Let me bring Erica in. Love What You Collect.
Hello.
What's going on?
How's it going?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
All right.
Going well.
All right. Good to have you here.
Yes, good to be here.
Oh, yeah. So we were talking about how people don't really understand how if you're deadlifting, your bicep plays a role in that. Most people don't even get into this stuff. I see people in the gym destroying themselves on a regular basis. They don't even think
Yeah.
about it.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be wear and tear. The guys who was doing the sport previous, all of them have bad hips, had to get hip replacements and all that stuff. So they really beat up their bodies. And that was one thing with me. That wasn't going to be it. Like, I was still dunking and playing baseball and doing all this stuff. And I said, if it ever got to a point where I was no longer athletic over everything, I would quit.
Mhm.
And I'll say the last 2 years, I turned into a power lifter. I was scared to jump. I broke my foot, so I wasn't jumping like that. Stopped dunking.
Okay.
I got to a point where I just didn't want to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's not what I wanted to do, especially with me turning 45. There are other things that I want to do still. I still BMX, I skateboard. I want to do a fast pitch baseball league and all that stuff. So I got to stay fresh and nimble for the most part, so
Okay.
I just try to keep myself active. That's one thing about sport cars, it's like you don't really have to worry about getting hurt too much. I'm like, you're like Charizard, you know what I'm
You're
saying?
pulling your hammy at trade night, right?
Shit, I pulled my hamstring. I haven't squatted in 2 years since I won the Masters title 2 years ago. I stopped doing squats. I squatted for the first time and I couldn't even walk.
Yeah, I know
Like
your
this
legs.
the whole week I've been like battered,
Yeah. So Erica, what's up? What's going on?
Nothing much. I'm chilling.
What's new and exciting?
Nothing much. I just been just waiting for the summertime to roll around. I went to a card show over the weekend with Natiri, up in Secaucus, New Jersey, and that was pretty cool.
So tell us about the show. How was the show? What did you see?
It was nice. It was nice. It was, small show, but really good quality vendors. A nice little selection. So it was
How
pretty
many
cool.
total tables do you think were
up? Maybe like 50.
Okay.
Like a 50. But they had a lot of autographs, a lot of wrestlers, and fighters and stuff. So they had a lot of auto signings.
All right.
It was
So
cool.
did you pick up anything?
I picked up some like a couple Shannon Sharp cards, some 90s football, a Deion Sanders.
Okay.
I think a Warren Sapp card I picked up too. I think a Barry Sanders. So I picked up about like 10 to 15 football cards. And Natiri, she just picked up some Pokemon cards.
If you're a Shannon Sharp fan, you might want to pick up his 1995 starting lineup. It has his rookie. I'm actually looking for it, but it's the same year as T.O. T.O.'s rookie is from that year, and they have cards from those years that do get graded, and they are worth a lot of money if they come back graded properly. You know what I'm saying? But Shannon Sharp, you could probably get one for under $20.
Okay.
I purchased them early on. I was like one of the first people on the start lineup wave, outside of the people who are diehards. They have like their, they only collect the rarest of rare start lineups. I don't do that because the people who are super rare are like nobodies. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't want to say it like that, but except for Karl Malone. Karl Malone's the only one who's like a superstar who has like a $2,000-$3,000 starting lineup because they were done regionally. Okay. Like even the Jordans, like the Jordan rookie, it's like a $200-$300 piece. It's actually like offensive lineman for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
Yeah, J. Mike was breaking it down to me one day about how the print run on some of this stuff and how many were made and of what players, and like I didn't know a lot about starting lineup at all.
Yeah, I know very little.
I didn't know that people are taking the cards. I guess someone should say, FD, you should know this. I didn't know if someone was taking the cards out of the packages and then sending them to be graded, and how tough it is to get a good grade because the card could be already creased or nicked in the package.
So the Peyton Manning rookie is 1998, and this one is a special year because it's also the year with Charles Woodson. So Charles Woodson is a rookie with this one, And during this time, the extended versions started having them in their rookie years instead of the year after. So like the Barry Sanders, some of the other guys, they didn't have true rookies. So Peyton Manning did. I picked these up. I started buying them at about $12, and they're now like in that $75 range. But everything spiked super fast. They just took off. And as the market went up, they like everything was going up. I sold all of my cards. I sold a lot of my cards and bought start lineups. So I have like 500 start lineups in here.
Wow.
And I thought it was going to be the next thing.
Yeah.
And the market when the market crashed, everything crashed. I thought that the cards would crash and then people will go to the next collectible. Nah, everything just went down the toilet. So some of the stuff that I bought, I lost my ass on, but other stuff, you know, I did pretty well in. So I sold 17 James Harden PSA 9s for over $400 a piece.
Wow.
Yeah. So the market, when it was good,
Yeah,
you know.
good. Oh yeah, I'm glad you showed me told me about the Shannon Sharp starting lineup. I don't have that one. I'm gonna have to get that one for sure.
Yeah.
The only one I do have, let me see. I actually have this on my desk.
Oh, I have the whole track one, but you can't open them, so don't open them.
Well, no. Oh, you're right. I bought I think I bought 2 or 3 of these. So I bought one to open to display on my desk because growing up, FloJo was just everything to me.
Yeah,
she still is. Other 2 I have sealed. So I opened the one with the worst packaging.
Oh yeah, that's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart.
So I just did that and it's still on my desk. You know.
What's the girl name? The ballet dancer, the black chick.
Dominique Dawes?
No. She's a ballet.
Okay, I'm not sure.
Misty Copeland.
Okay.
I bought my girl one, and I bought it like a couple of years ago at Toys R Us for $29, and go check it. It's like a couple $100 now.
Wow.
So
I
so
didn't
the
know
Misty
she
Copeland.
had one.
Yeah, hers is. It came out. It probably came out 4 or 5 years ago now. But that was one that I purchased because I didn't even think about it. Because originally I bought all these starting lineups to open. I wanted them to be in the backdrop of what I was doing because I thought they were like $1 a piece, and come find out, you know, some of them were worth a lot of money. So then I said, wait a minute, you know, the cards. I thought the cards were getting a little bit out of hand because I had sold all my Kobe rookies. You know, I made that mistake, and then I started seeing everything go up. I was like, this can't continue.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I'm gonna take the money I made from the cards, and I moved it over to starting lineups. And I probably spent in about 3 months span. I probably spent about $6,000 in starting lineups, to the point where the mail people, they started thinking I was doing something because they had so many of these packages come to my house. It was like days where they'll have like 25 packages at my back door.
Yeah.
You know, so I think the starting lineup market is a beautiful market for people who want to do something a little bit different. And the card aspect of it, like I was telling FD, the card market is its own little thing within itself, you know?
Yeah, that's what blew my mind. I mean, how much a graded starting lineup card of a particular player like a Jordan or other players can really be valuable.
And they have to be in the casing in the like the grade thing is cool, but when you're purchasing them, you want no creases on them. You view them just like you view a card. So it might have some little roughing on the edges, and people are like, oh, that's not a big deal. It is a big deal. So when you're buying on eBay, the people who don't know, they might ship it in a bubble wrapper. It comes to the mailman and try to put it in your mailbox and all that kind of stuff. So I literally was getting into it kind of heavy. And if you think about it, when Tiger Woods got in his accident, like as he got into the accident, I was purchasing these. I was like, wait a minute, let me buy one, because I thought Tiger was going to die. I'm not even going to lie to you. So I bought it, and he has like 5 of these for that particular year. But this is like, these are their rookies for these particular pieces. But the difference is these don't have cards. Yeah. So that's why they'll never be like the McFarlane toys would never be what the starting lineups are.
So Jay, Mike, let me ask you a question. Are there stores you can go in where you can purchase like old starting lineups?
Yeah, a lot. Car shops have them. They have car shops.
Okay.
So you go, depending on what car shop you go into, they'll have them. But you know, you have to realize that the starting lineups were a thing. Like they were like Beanie Babies. Like
I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. But Eric, you got a shout out here. Love what you collect is here. I like J Mike too. Who's rolling with FT? We're rolling.
Hold on, is it when it goes out? Is it going out just for me or just?
I think it's just going out for you. I think you're freezing.
Damn. Well, I do have like 1,000 things open.
Yes, I think I have the same Tiger Woods McFarlane that you had. I bought 2 of them, 2 different ones, but I didn't know it was 5 in that set.
Yeah, it's a bunch of them.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get the other 3. I kept all mine sealed. I love figures. I think figures are just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, so Jay, I think we lost your feed. I don't know if you.
Well, I'm trying to close all these tabs. I had like 5,000 tabs from.
All right, do your thing. Do your thing.
Yeah,
I hear you guys.
Huge on figures.
The only problem with them is that they take up too much. They take up too much space.
Yeah, I can imagine. We were talking one day, and I was saying that they remind me of like full-size football helmets. And I know some people that collect a lot of full-size football helmets, and that can be a whole room. Then it can go into several rooms, and then that starts moving into a storage unit.
Bro, I'm in all kind of trouble around here, man. Like I got a whole bunch of them in the hall. I got like 100 of them in the hallway, just stacked up, and you know, because originally all the stuff was in my garage. Like I had all the stuff in the garage, but I had a bunch of really expensive cards brick. And I was like, I can't take that chance with the stuff I got here. So I just took over one of the closets, and then I have my other room. And yeah, because it was getting expensive. That was an expensive brick, a bunch of cards. A bunch of 89 Upper Deck Griffies got bricked. Yeah, I couldn't do that.
Art asked a question here, a little off topic, FD. Once upon a time, I did mention the beginning of rap music and breakdance. I was talking about that. Do you remember the days of Nucleus, Fat Boys, Curtis Blow, Run DMC? And that was 1984. Yeah, I remember all that.
I was a breakdancer. I had a helmet, a motorcycle.
I wish we had video, J Mike. I'd love to see you breakdancing.
Hey, but look, this is the reason why I do all the stuff that I do on YouTube. I say I do a lot of stuff. So if you told somebody about me, like just telling them, you're like, this dude's a liar. You mean tell me he's 300 pounds, he can do 360 windmill dunks, he can hit a golf ball 400 yards, baseballs, all that. No one would believe that. So that's why I'm glad I have video proof of that. But in 1983, when I was like the little 5-year-old kid breakdancing, spinning on my head, because you put a helmet on back then to spin on your head. You know, that sounds ridiculous, but you know, that was the thing back then. Oh, I'm originally from Oakland. So that was like really big out there, that B-boy stuff, you know?
So I Love Podcast has a question here. How's it going, fam? How do you price items that don't have comps?
For me, I just try to go to a very similar player. That's the first thing I think of, and to see if that has comps on it. But if I can't find any comps with the similarities, I just kind of figure out a price point that I feel comfortable and I want to be at, and then work my way with the seller from that way. That's kind of how I roll with it.
I think that's the way to do it, right? You look for a card or player that's similar in print run or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you kind of back your way into the price of the particular card you're looking at. Yeah. I believe every card that's made at some point you can get down to something in a conversation.
Yeah, but that's a great question though, because a lot of people you run into that a lot of times, you know. You don't have comps and you just kind of stuck, and then sometimes the seller doesn't even know the price on it because they can't look up a comp. So that's why I just kind of be like, you know, the price I want to be at, and then I just try to work the magic from there.
Now, Erica, you tell me, and J Mike, you might know this. Fresh Fest 84 in Pittsburgh. What is the Fresh Fest? Have you heard of this?
I haven't heard of Fresh Fest. I was born in 87.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I'm an 80s baby though.
87. 87. Okay.
87. 80s baby.
That was the year my brother was graduating from high school.
Wow.
Man, my stuff cutting up tonight, man.
Yeah, Mike, what's going on, man?
I don't know, man. They might not like the little room, man.
What's happening?
I don't know. Shit. I mean, I never had these issues, you know?
It's all good, man.
It's all good. It's all good.
All good. So, I know, Erica, you're wearing the Lakers jersey.
You know what? Yes, I am. I'm rocking the Lakers jersey.
I like this. I like this.
You know.
So what do you think about that? I mean, so Vogel's gone, right? Let's just chop this tree down.
We can chop it down.
Vogel's gone. He had a press conference today.
I saw that.
I think they're blaming him for quite a few things
Hmm.
about the team. I just don't know. The question that comes up to my mind with the Lakers is, what are they going to do going forward with the roster? I wonder.
That's a great question. I think the biggest thing is who's going to come play with LeBron. That's the biggest piece. Is it
I'm
like
trading LeBron. LeBron got to go.
Oh, you trading LeBron? Okay.
I'm trading him and AD.
So if you trade
Yeah.
LeBron, so you're getting rid of AD as well?
Oh, 100%. Bubble Wrapper. That's his new name, Bubble Wrap.
Well, some people call him Mr. Glass too.
Yeah, I can't do him. And LeBron is a terrible GM. And since he's a terrible GM, he got to go. And I think you would be able to do something stupid like sending him to New Orleans for Zion. I think
radical right now. Okay.
Wow.
I really think that's something that they would do. And LeBron, he actually, with his last contract, he doesn't have an out. He may have. It was something that I saw where he doesn't have an out. He probably has a no trade. It's something he doesn't have in his contract that typically he's normally had. Is either a no trade or he can't opt out or something. But I would trade his ass for Zion. Like if I'm the Lakers and they think they can get Zion, I wouldn't trade Zion for him. Zion got 10 more years, I believe. So,
but you got to really know Zion is able to play, right? You got to really know that he's physically able.
I believe the between the leg off the glass kind of proves that he just didn't want to play for New Orleans. He went out to California, was getting in Portland, was getting worked on by Nike's doctors and medical staff and trainers. Came back 30, 40 pounds lighter. They saying he can't play. They don't want him to play because he's an asset. And they know they're going to lose. They're not going to the championship. If they throw him out there, I think he's going to play if they make it to the playoffs. Like, not to play in the actual playoffs. I believe he's going to play because he wants to play.
But they're in the play-in, right?
Yeah.
Who are they playing?
I don't know. I didn't see the final. I think everything got settled last night. I didn't see the final.
I don't know if they're playing the Spurs. But I don't know.
The Pelicans. Hold on. Oh, I think they still got to go through. Yeah, they're playing the Spurs.
Spurs, okay, that's what I thought.
The Spurs.
Yeah,
yep.
That should be a good game. But
yeah, that should be a very good game.
Yeah, that should be a good game. I think the Pelicans going to win that game now.
Oh, I think so too.
Yeah, but Zion, he's going to prove a lot of people wrong. I'm telling you, like, I still have high hopes for him. I'm rooting for him. I think he's going to be one of the best players in the league.
I truly hope so.
Yeah. But I think LeBron's going to finish out his career in LA as a Laker, as he should. They just need to. They're going to have to get another player, like maybe like a Dame Lillard, a player like that.
Come on, man. Let's just check out what J. Mike has had going on up there.
Man, I'm going to try to take this damn hoodie off, man. I have to change. Yeah, my internet not working. There's no air in here. They got this little fan.
Okay.
So I don't want to hit your stream with too much muscle.
All right.
I don't want to do y'all like that.
Come with it.
I don't want to do y'all like that. You know. So they'll be like, man, that dude Clay Carr, he on steroids, man. That dude got muscles on top of muscles.
Man, he started changing clothes and man, everything was popped off. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
I love the t-shirt, by the way. I love the shirt.
And the back says I talk a lot, you know. As you know, I do talk a little bit. So but I bench a lot though.
So let's jump into Gym Man cars. It seems the basketball market has been down for a while. Do you think it would continue downward or began to level out soon? And what do you think has caused the decline? I would say the decline has been caused by, market values went through the roof. Right?
Nope.
J. Mike, go. You go then. Go. I want to hear this.
The decline is the fact that for a couple of years, the Great White Hope, Luka Doncic, was carrying the basketball market. I believe the fact that it was so much hope for the next Larry Bird to take over the NBA. His cards were very souped up and hyped to the point where it's very much like Mahomes is happening in football.
Yeah, I was about to say
where
Mahomes. Go ahead.
it's a very similar situation. And the fact that he didn't win a championship, he hasn't won an MVP. If he would have won an MVP, I think he could have carried the hobby. A lot of what's going on is the fact that people are in the markets and they're having to cheer for people they don't want to cheer for. They want Luka to be Luka. You know what I'm saying? And if he was what they thought he was about to be, the basketball market would be strong. Those PSA 10 silver would be $10,000 right now. The
So
market
when
would
did
be flourishing.
I'm gonna go with this belief. So when did people realize that Luka was not who they wanted him to be?
I don't
They're
know.
a 500 team.
Yeah.
Hey, 500 team, man. He is a little bit. He's a bigger version of Trae Young. Trae Young cards are 4 times, 5 times less than his,
and will probably stay there.
Yeah, they'll never. I think he'll never change. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to say it like that, but Larry Bird said it best a few years ago. He says the NBA needs white stars. It has to have it. They need it, and they actually and to be perfectly honest with you, there's a couple of guys that I'm super high on, and I've been purchasing out the yin yang, Pokashevsky and Giddey. I think those 2 guys are phenomenal. And their cards were pretty affordable. And then you're gonna have Czech coming from Gonzaga next year. I think those type of players fuel the market, especially if they show promise. And I think that will be enough with what's going on now with the game being a little more Eurocentric in a sense. And I'm talking about style of play, not just skin color and stuff. So I think that's going to help the hobby going forward. You need diversity. You just need more representation.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Period.
So what do you think about? You mentioned Chet. I've had a question about him all year. What do you think about his game? You think his game is transferable?
Yes. Handles the basketball, can shoot the basketball, makes his free throws. He'll be able to. He is not KD.
Because I was about to make a comparison.
No, it's not that. He's not
okay.
that. He's not KD.
His jump shot is not on that level now.
It's not on that level, but he could pick and pop, and he also handles and passes the ball well enough. That's one of the things, like with Jokic. He handles the basketball decent, but he passes the ball all time at the top. He's like a Vlade Divac type savant type passer. Like Vlade was a nasty passer of the basketball. That's why those old Sacramento Kings teams were so good, because you had Chris Webber, who had a super high IQ. You had Jason Williams, who had a super high IQ, and you had Divac, who was tough as well as very slick around the basket. You know what I'm saying?
But then they ran into Shaq and Kobe. Big Shot Bob.
It was a lot going on with that. It was nothing they was going to do to stop that. You know, it took Shaq and Kobe to stop it. You know.
So Brendan said that you just cast shade on Luka. Then he comes back with, if the Lakers got Luka, the market would lose its mind. Perception changes everything.
Wait, what I say wrong? I didn't say no wrong.
No,
Luka's a beast. Luka's a beast. No.
I just want Luka. Like next year, I just want Luka to come in shape, ready to.
No, that is his shape. That is his shape.
Luka's been in better shape than that. Man,
they said when you hit Luka, they said he's so soft and pudgy that you can't manipulate him. They say he molds into what you hit him with. It's not like, so when you hit him, it's like blah, and he just leans on you. Like, he's a heavy dude and he controls the game. He's very patient. The problem is his type of game, no one's going to want to play with him. You can't play with a guy like that. Because the thing with LeBron, he's a very slow, like methodical player without the downhill aspect of his game. LeBron is able to get downhill and make passes for other people. Luka slows the game down and gets shots for himself.
It does.
And that's a huge difference.
Or it's a very late pass.
And being the person who's the runner or the dunker in the dunking position hates that, because you're passing me the ball when you are putting yourself in a bad spot. And then when I miss the shot, I look like that, like the bad player. No one likes playing with that guy.
But do you all think that LeBron holds the ball too much?
No, I would say no.
You don't think he slows down the shot clock? You don't think he slows down everything?
Some possessions, yes, but overall, that's how he plays, though. That's
Okay, so let's get into this, right? Because I have a theory that LeBron. I agree, Eric. That is how he plays.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has to build a team around him that can support that. And usually on that team that he builds, he doesn't want another real scorer on that team. Definitely not the guard and small forward position, point guard. Can't be scoring. You have to bring the ball up. Let me rest a little bit. What do y'all think about that? This is why I talk about the LeBron kind of how he affects the team. Right? You got to have certain players on that team. So this year they tried to build the team around LeBron
mm-hmm.
to make him successful. And then that team had all kind of problems.
I don't really think that they tried to. I wouldn't even say they tried to build the team. They just got whoever they could get. Like they should have kept the team from last year.
That's the point.
They should have rocked out the team from last year, maybe add one or two pieces, but instead of doing a total rebuild, was just a fail from the jump.
Well, LeBron wanted to get a shooter out of town. So who's going to be your point guard? Well, and then that's when Westbrook and other people came up on the list.
Well, I agree with LeBron. He had to go.
Yeah, shooter was not. I didn't think he fit LeBron's style anyway.
He was a better fit than Westbrook, and he was cheaper. He was a 16 million. Well, shooter cost himself a bunch of money, but shooter was going to be $18 million point guard. The thing with LeBron is, in terms of what he's turned into, the reason why I started not liking LeBron is him leaving Cleveland when they had the number 1 pick. He could have taken the chance, had Andrew Wiggins, and had Andrew Wiggins be a Scottie Pippen, but he didn't want to do that. He wanted to get Kevin Love, and he wanted to try to win a championship, which he wound up getting a championship. But I always thought so much of his game because he played both sides of the floor. He did so much. LeBron plays zero defense now. Zero. He'll run down a block shot every once in a while, but he's not playing no defense. So you really need a team. You need an Eric Snow. You know who LeBron would fit perfect on Memphis's team? You have Desmond Bain, who's like
that's because he has a real. But then he would have a point guard though, and that's what he.
No, but think about it. He would have position like back in the day. The Philadelphia 76ers had a bunch of players who played their role and didn't say anything. You had Eric Snow, who guarded the best guard. You had Aaron McKee, who played the dirty wing position, and you let Allen Iverson just pick his spots, and no one said anything. And that's the type of team LeBron has to be on, because the thing that stars are understanding with LeBron is the fact that when they lose, it's going to be your fault. And since it's going to be your fault, a lot of good players aren't going to want to play side by side with LeBron. If LeBron had to play in Golden State's offense, he couldn't do it because he doesn't shoot the ball well enough. He could play. LeBron could play anywhere. He could play point guard.
I don't know if LeBron can play anywhere.
I think he could. He just wouldn't average. He wouldn't average 25. He wouldn't average 30 points a game. If LeBron could probably play 10 more years because he's basically Karl Malone. Like if you think about it physically, he's Karl Malone. He could play a power forward and average 20 points a game probably for the next 10 years. If he just picked and pop, rolled to the basket, that type of thing, I think he could do that. But like the aerial assault thing, it's kind of hard to do that, especially being a one-legged jumper.
LeBron James, the man, the myth, the legend. I think he controls the clock. This is how I would sum up LeBron, right? I think he's a great player. He controls the clock. He has to have certain people around him that can shoot outside jumpers, 15, 18-foot jumpers, shoot the three. If he doesn't have that, team's going to struggle. And that's what we're seeing with the Lakers this year.
I think I ain't gonna lie to you. Like LeBron, to me, he's the third greatest player of all time in my eyes.
Who's one and two? Who's one and two?
Kobe. It's Jordan, Kobe for me. Okay. That's me. But I have understanding of the other players in the past, but those are the players that I would want ahead of him. That's how I view it.
I understand.
Because Kobe's a dog. You know what I'm saying? And
Kobe would have something else, man.
Kobe would have played these last games.
Mm-hmm.
he would have went down with the ship. Kobe would have went down with the ship.
He could have got
Torn it-
notified he wasn't going to the playoffs a week ago and would have been balling for 7 days.
Most definitely.
Oh,
He
yeah.
just don't have that. He doesn't have that personality. He has that cop mentality. He wants the best team. You know, like I respect the fact, and you know, this is something that with Jordan was rarely the highest paid player on the Bulls team. You know, there's a year like B.J. Armstrong, it was a year where B.J. Armstrong was the highest paid Bull. B.J. Armstrong was making $5 million a year. Yeah. I love B.J. Armstrong as a kid, but Jordan did sacrifice because he was making 30-40 million a year with Nike, so he didn't have to get his money that way. But with LeBron and them saying, "Hey, let's get the top three of the best 5 players in the NBA. We're all going to play together and win a championship." Back in the day, that would never
you all just heard him say on his show the other day. They asked him, "Who would you like to play with?" And he said, "Steph Curry."
And Steph said, "Nah, I'm good on that."
Man, who you think? If you were Steph, would you play with LeBron?
No.
No.
He had KD. He had the KD experiment.
Nobody wants that. Dude, y'all even want to see that? Would you even want to see that?
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
I want to see it. I
want to see it.
That's just LeBron leaning on Steph to try to get close to Mike. You know that.
But he knows that there's nothing he could do. Like he's gonna have to literally, like I think at this point there's nothing he'll be able to do to catch Jordan, but he's still trying. I thought he was going social warrior status to catch him, like, socially and like, stuff he does for the kids and stuff. But Jordan is 6-0, 6 finals MVPs, undefeated, never seen a 7th game. Like, it's a wrap, man. Like that guy down there with the little, that little guy right there.
Yeah.
You'll never catch him. You ain't getting that.
No.
That ain't happening. You know what I mean?
So Colorado Sports Studio says, "Hi y'all. Maybe the next year or two in the NBA is a time to buy for when the market gets back going. Trey and Luka type players grow up some. Embiid and Jokic type are in their prime still." And I think the next couple of years are going to be quite interesting when it comes to cards. I would think there's a uptick in values, but I don't think we're ever going to see what we saw in 2020.
I agree. I think now is a really good time to just buy low key undervalued cards of guys you think that might be all-stars or almost all-stars in like 3 to 5 years. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like if you can get that card for like $100, 5 years from now that could be like a $3,000 card. I think it's a lot of plays like that. But you just gotta kind of evaluate.
I have a question for you. What's the most expensive card you've ever paid for?
Me?
Yes.
$850.
What card was it?
A Skylar Diggins PMG.
Oh, it's a bomb too.
Hey, I love me some Skylar Diggins.
Yeah, I love Skylar
Diggins. I'm blushing. I love me some Skylar Diggins.
Yeah.
But I said that to say, and this is going to get to this. This is the most expensive card I've ever paid for. Darren Williams, X-Fractor, BGS, 10 auto.
Okay,
9. Now, I paid in 2012. I paid $130 for this.
Wow!
I have massive cards now.
Wow!
But this is the most money I've ever spent on a card. I've never spent more than $130 some for a card. I've had the Kobe Bryant X2000, whatever that card is. I had that card. Mm-hmm. I paid $27 for it. But this right here is the most expensive card I've ever purchased. And I say that this card now is worth about $7, some shit like that. It's probably worth a little more than that, but it's not. He kind of was like the best point guard in the NBA. Then it went away. But I say that because there's a bunch of players that I just started paying attention. I never really saw him play. Patrick Williams is a monster.
Oh, I think he's going to be.
Obi Toppin is a monster.
Obi Toppin has got to work on that jump shot, but he's athletically. I agree with you.
You put him in a pick and roll, he's Amari Stoudemire. Yeah, and I'm sitting up there I have drawers now. So what I did was I created, I started building custom boxes with, the felt and, putting the players' names on them. I started respecting my cards more so that my cards would take care of me down the line. But I did this. I have my whole little library here. But Obi Toppin, I have about 150 Obi Toppin rookie cards. I have all kind of cards. And then over the last couple of days, I'm seeing he's playing out of his ass. I go and look at my Obi Toppin. I have like 12 of his Prism cards, and they're
him
selling.
and RJ Barrett, they play well.
No, I don't like RJ.
I do.
I don't like his game. He's
I like
too slow.
RJ too.
Holds the ball, not athletic enough for me. But Obi Toppin is cheap. So the two players that I'm buying currently that are a little outside of the Poku and the Giddy kid is Obi Toppin and Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams, I thought he was a power forward. He's a swing.
Yeah, he's
He
a
handles the basketball, could shoot.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, he scored 35 the other night and was handling. So imagine he's your third wing on that team. You could, and he's tall. He's like 6'6", 6'7", something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You could put him, DeRozan. You could put Kobe. You have the Bulls have so much talent now. I didn't even know it. Like I actually just sat down and watched. I'm like, oh my God, this is the play. So he's the play. I think he's the play. That's the play. I'm gonna spend $300 on a National Treasure card for him. That's going to.
So what we're saying is that there's going to be a lot of more Giannis's coming up.
I wouldn't say that.
No, but I'm saying
I wouldn't say Giannis.
Okay, let me modify that statement because
thank you.
Yeah, please. Yeah, you're right.
What I'm saying is players that after several years, you start seeing who they are, and once upon a time, the card may have a low value.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. But the other thing is the NBA is so much easier now. Like if you think about it, what I started doing is I accumulated my cards by collecting the top 100 players back in 2010, 2011, whenever that list came out for the NFL. I did it for the NBA as well as the baseball. So that's how I accumulated all these cards. But the one thing that I'm noticing now is that it's so much easier to score. So since you can score so much easier, you're going to have a bunch of players scoring 20 points a game. So therefore, their card value is going to be much more. So now, just like with the quarterback market, you're playing an extra game. You can't touch none of the wide receivers. These quarterbacks are throwing for more yards. The wide receivers are catching the ball more. So now you have $30 million wide receivers.
That's how you got
the game has changed.
Running around. Yeah.
The game has changed. So then I think that it's just going to be a bunch of players scoring a bunch of points because you can't touch anybody. So these players now, and also you have this rookie class. This rookie class is 12 deep with stars, future stars, 12 deep, easy. So think about it. You have that class, you have the class before that, and you have the Zion class. You have like 150 good players in the NBA right now who you could actually collect, let alone your legends. So I think in terms of if you're really a collector, this is the time to do it. And you can buy them cheap. And the way, if you're a retail collector, as most people are, I haven't bought a hobby box since 2012. It's too expensive. But I don't know why I'm getting sidetracked here, but Fanatics did something tonight I had never heard about. They have a lottery to get your blasters. So you go. Actually, I would go on there now. But I mean, even if you don't really rip, but they're taking your information, your credit card information, how many of what product you want, and they're doing an actual lottery for the product. That is going to be the change. What's
the benefit? Let's walk through this now, since you've introduced us. What's the benefit of that to the person buying?
You don't have to compete with bots.
Yeah,
you're competing with real people with addresses.
Yeah.
So now I don't have to pay $50 for a Mosaic basketball blaster or a football blaster. I'm paying $29, and they actually have a different parallel. So if they're able to control the market where everybody has a shot, that's going to change the game. That's going to get people who don't rip to make them rip. You know what I'm saying?
I think there are things that have been said. There's going to be more that's going to put more cards in people's hands, more sports cards. I'm not talking about V-Friends and other stuff. I'm talking about there's going to be more sports cards available to different people at different price points. And
I did hear that. Yeah.
Yep.
But this is amazing. I just, like, before I got on, I saw one of the guys I follow. His name is Viking56 or something on YouTube. Every morning he does like a target group where they wait up and see what they're stocking. And since I started doing that, I've been getting product. You know, I go to my Borders. Borders has cards, and they always have cards. It's typically in the afternoon around 2:30, 3 o'clock. So it's like a real. It feels as though it's a fair shot. Like I don't feel pressed to buy from resellers because I know I'm gonna have an opportunity to get cards on Target.com. Now it's gonna take 2 weeks to get your cards, but you do have an opportunity. But if they do that for all the products, and it's like it's a clock on there, so it's like 17 hours before they do the lottery. You know how many of the, so that means that truly the people who want cards have an opportunity to get them. It's not going to be all these bots going in and destroying everything. I believe this is going to be good for us and bad for shop owners.
Richard said the breakers would be the biggest losers out of this. Fanatics want to eliminate the middleman in the long run.
I mean, I think you need the secondary market, though. I think the secondary market is very essential. I think how every market, like I was a sneakerhead. I'm still a sneaker. I got hundreds. Just like I got these starting lines, I got sneakers. The game got messed up when Jordan said, I'm not selling the shoes for 160 because they're reselling for 350. So we're going to go up to 225.
I remember
and
that.
when they did that, it made it to where the secondary market, the resale changed from 300 to 275. And if it's 275 and I paid 250, it's not worth it. So you're killing that aspect of it, that exclusivity of it. So it's like, for me, I think you have to just let the secondary market be. Make your money that you're making and let the market do what it do. Like, it's crazy, but they always talk about it. When people get killed for a shoe, that's the shoe you want. I mean, it sounds crazy, but when people were dying over Air Jordans and starter jackets and all that stuff, that's because everyone wanted it. And once it got to the point where no one cared about it, to the point, and I hate using, the killing part, but once it got to the point where no one was doing that anymore, it lost value. It went away. So, that sounds absolutely crazy, but that's true. So if you eliminate the need and the want, it makes it less valuable.
I can remember a time I was in high school. Jordans come out. I go to Evergreen Plaza on the south side of Chicago. We're standing in front of Foot Locker. As soon as that door opens,
Marvin,
you better be able to run.
Yeah.
Shit, they had that in 2006 when Xbox came out. I'll never forget this. I went out to a club and my girl, she was like, hey, why are those people in line? I was like, oh shit, the Xbox come out today. And I never was a person that wait in line or anything. I said, what time? It was like 3 a.m. I was like, damn, they open at 8. I was like, shit, I'll go wait in line. I went there earlier that day and they said they had 50 copies of the Xbox 360. And I looked at the line, it was like 12 people. I'm like, shit, I'll wait 5 hours. Drop me off. I go there. And at 8 o'clock, when the doors were opening, all the people just started hopping out of nowhere, cars, everything. So I went from number 12 to like number 29. Now I would have gone off normally, but I was like, I know they got 50. I ain't tripping. I'm getting one. It gets to 29, they're letting the guy in. It gets to 30, it gets on me. They stopped me, and they said they're done. They're sold out.
Wow.
The employees bought them. I was pissed, but while I was in line, people were coming out of the store getting robbed in front of us. We're in line waiting. Guys are pulling up on cars, pulling guns on the people, taking their games. We just waiting in line.
You in Houston? Where you at?
We're in Houston, waiting in line. We're watching people get robbed. I'm just like, shit, damn, he got robbed. Nobody got out of line. Nobody said anything. Kids crying all over the place getting robbed. I saw 4 or 5 people get robbed. Guns pulled on them in the parking lot when that happened. And that was in 2006. I was walking around literally with $2,000 in my pocket trying to buy an Xbox every day. And I wound up buying a combo. Like they had to buy 6 games, six insurance on the games, warranties and all this stuff just to buy the Xbox.
But ultimately, right, if you're releasing a product, you don't want any of these stories connected to your brand, right? You really don't.
You don't want to, but most of those companies don't care. They just want the bottom line. They want to get it sold, in a fast amount of time, keep the hype up, the demand up.
But think about it though. This like, do you hear products being released now, and these same stories are happening?
No, because we live in different times. Like, people don't go out as much as they used to. Like me growing up, we went to the sneaker store literally like every day, except for
Yeah,
Sundays.
we used to go all the time.
Like seriously, we go to City Blue, Sneaker Villa, Foot Locker, like switch it up, go downtown, go 69. That was just a part of our daily lives. Like now, kids and young adults don't even go to sneaker stores like that. They just look on their phone on StockX.
That's all you
So
got to do.
and that relates to the same thing as sports cards or games and stuff like that too. Like they don't even buy the physical games anymore. So I think the whole concept has changed. So it eliminates a lot of those stories, I believe.
It changes some of. Now the retail stores are crazy though. I don't watch people getting punked and bullied and watching people take all of the product. Like, so what they do is they bring a big goon with them, and they'll sit up there. The goon will sit up there and try to muscle up. I shut all that down here in Houston. Like the little stores I always go to, it wasn't none of that. You bring your big partner. I'm the big partner, and everybody getting that. No, you ain't taking that. You getting this. You getting this. We all eating. And I put myself out there like that because I'm like, what they gonna do? They collect cards. Like, what you gonna do? Like, I'm from New Orleans. Like what's happening? You know what I'm saying? And I saw how this was going down, and I'm finding out there's this one guy here in Houston who has like 50 workers. He deploys them out. He has the schedules. He goes to lunch with the MJ Holdings manager, and they know when they're getting dropped off. And what was happening is it'll be to the point where, say for instance, they got to drop the rep is there. He will come into the store and be like, come back later. He'll tell the rep not to put the stuff out and come back later because there's too many people there to get product. So I was like, man, this is crazy. I had no idea that people were getting into fist fights, pulling out guns. I had an old man, like 70 years old, was threatening to shoot me in the Target line one time. But
that's crazy.
It was crazy, man. And
hobby life, right? This is bananas.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
It was
a time.
cardboard.
So we got Merle World here. What's up, Merle?
What's up, Merle?
What's going on? Brendan J. Mike asks you, has any sport card ever given you the shakes? I guess anybody that you said that wasn't going to punk you. I think this is what this was referring to.
Wait, what? Let's see.
What does that mean?
Any sport card ever given you the shakes?
Maybe
like holding it.
Is it the card, Brendan, or the
card or a person? Like I'm a little confused.
So John says, "Hey, what's up, John? Good to have you here. I worked in retail in Vancouver, British Columbia, here for 15 years. Our employees that were working were not allowed to buy limited merchandise. I was there in 1988 when we sold sealed boxes of Pokemon. Love you too, brother. Glad that you're here. It's interesting. Yes, no, I'm in the house. I was born and raised in New Orleans. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I haven't tried to buy something at retail, and all this is going on.
Really?
I think that was after I stopped buying stuff at retail like that. Because I just can't stand in the line. It's hard for me to stand. It was hard for me to stand in line and get someone's autograph. Like, it's just hard to be in a long line. Like J. Mike, you said you rolled up at 3. They stopped your door at 8. I got serious problems. I can't. They spent 5 hours.
But think about this though. I was that guy. Like, I used to go out. I was the man here in Houston. I don't wait in lines. I pull up my 72 Cutlass with my big rounds and TVs. The bouncer gives me dap. I walk in. I skip the line. I'm that guy, right? Well, with the cards, it got so ridiculous at a point when right before Target stopped holding retail. I said I would never wait in line for cards, but it got to the point where you could literally, if you got in line, I spend $350, I can make $1,200 off of that product. It was like 3 and 4 times what I was paying for it, and I started doing the math on. I'm like, well, I'm a personal trainer. I make $75 to $100 an hour at working, and it's midnight. If I go out there right now, I wait 7-8 hours. Let's say I wait 6 hours, right? I wait 6 hours. I'm able to get enough product where I can rip it, and then I can sell the rest of, which I never sold the rest of. I opened up everything, but so that was where I made the mistakes, is that I opened up all of the stuff that I bought. So And Optic, I bought so much Optic. Like I was getting a lot of Optic, and Optic was it's still very expensive for 2020 Optic on 2 of them here.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff was so ridiculous in terms of the pull rate. You got nothing out of that stuff. So I waited in line, got all that product, and I would just open it all. But it was just the fact that how much it was worth. And it's like, if you look at it, it was almost a job. So they had guys who were hustling. They would go and wait in those lines, and they were making $1,000, $2,000 a day.
Yeah,
so for 7-8 hours of work, that's not bad money.
That's not.
You know, $1,000 a day for 8 hours of work. That's good money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. I know. For me, the closest target to me, a lot of people would stand out there, and they would have like 5 people with them. You know, and then the employees in their arc trying to argue with me and everybody, and I ain't got time for that. So I would end up just driving to the suburbs, 45 minutes to an hour away, me and my daughter, and try to get some retail to rip. We literally ripped everything like you. And a lot of times we weren't happy. I wish ripping it can be very disappointing because it's not fun. Like it, you know, you want it to be fun. It's fun sometimes, but not as much as you want it to be. You know.
Yeah, Tom says no cars at all at Walmart anymore. All taken out and gone. Crazy, no sports, no Pokemon, no cardboard. Too many issues between the scalpers, fighting, and theft.
I went into Walmart the other day, and they had Mosaic basketball. They had like 8 hangers. I was able to buy them, no problems. It was like middle of the day. I was going to pick up my son, and I walk in. I was like, oh my god! It was like, oh, and I was saying to myself, damn, they're selling for $45 a piece. I opened up all of them. Didn't get nothing. I got one.
That's rough.
Bojan, what's the name? The guy Bojan something. I got his what's that card called? The Genesis. I pulled his Genesis. I didn't get nothing. I was like,
that's
because sometimes you opening this stuff, you're like, it can't be this bad. It can't. I have to open the next one. And I had a perfect. So I opened up Playbook this year.
That's how I feel too.
So, but it depends on how you view it. Like, so last year, I'm not a flipper, right? I'm a collector. I'm like a real true blue collector. But I said, you know, everybody was talking about the stuff they flipping. So one day I walk into the store. I think I told the story. I bought all the Playbook. The guy just put the stuff out. I spent like $800. I'm calling the guys who I normally buy from. They go, I said, yo, I just hit a lick. They're like, what they had? Optic? I said, nah, they had Playbook. I bought it all. And he was like, bro, we leave that. I'm like, nah, look at the sales. I was like, this stuff's, the hangers are selling for $30. And they said, check the date. I checked the date. It was the first day it came out. I literally couldn't sell that stuff for $10. So I'm sitting up there like, I can't believe I just spent all this money. So I said, you know what? Worst come to worst, I'm gonna open it up. I opened that stuff up and I got nothing. I had 40. It's on my page. I opened up 40 hangers. I didn't get not one autograph.
Wow.
I got base cards of the players from 2020. Nothing good out of it. So this year, Playbook, they have it on the on Target app. I was like, you know what? It's $44. I didn't even pay attention to the packs and card numbers. It's only 20 cards. It's 4 packs, 5 cards per pack. I thought it. So when I get it, I'm like, oh shit! And I'm looking at people rip it. They're getting nothing, and I'm sitting there like, again. So I was like, you know what? I said I'm gonna open up one box and I'm gonna return the other 2. I open a box. I get a 4-color Jalen Hurts numbered out of 25 patch, and I get this in motion card. These are like super rare, right? Okay. And some of them go for like big money. Like this might be like this one because he's like his name, what's his name? Amir Smith Morset. He's not a big name player, but it might be a $56 card. So I was like, I had the best box of it I've seen anybody open. So you know what I do? I open up the last 2 megas, right?
They might just keep rolling the dice.
I get about $3.25 out of that $100. I'm like, why did I just do that? I couldn't help it. I'm a glutton for punishment. And I got punished. So I got punished from 2020, 2021. I refuse to get beat. That's $2.50 a card for Playbook. And it's a terrible product. It's the worst product on the market. There's nothing worse than that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't mess with it.
I
That'd
was
be rough.
I was laughing because I can relate so much to what you're saying. I literally started getting mad at myself. I'm just like, instead of spending this money, I just need to buy the card I want.
Yeah, that's what I try to do.
It sound like FD.
I try
I
to
just
buy
need to
the
buy that,
car.
and that's what I've been doing. I'm just like, you know,
Yeah, Daniel said a glutton for punishment. Yeah, I got about a car. Got to take all those funds, get them together, and then try to go out and see what I can do on a negotiation, J Mike.
But see that, like I said, I've never spent big money on a card. I've never spent. I got Nolan Ryan rookies and Jordan rookies. I got all that stuff here. I had the merchandise when stuff popped.
mhm.
So I just literally never paid for anything. So like I paid for some cards recently. I bought the Evan Mobley gold card. Actually, the one I showed on my page, that was something I just won something just now on eBay. But I had just opened one out of a pack. Then I bought one for $4 and now it's selling for $25. So that was a good little deal for me, you know.
What'd you win
But I
on
just
eBay?
never.
What you just win on eBay?
I'm trying to see right now because I put
I want to get what this is.
it's a Pokashevsky lot. It's like
Okay, how many cards?
it's 5. It's a silver, 2 silver prisms and 2 optic hollows. I have my current bid is like at $7 and it's like 9 minutes left. So let's see if I can win this. I think Poku and Giddy Kid. They're the next one. They're on the same team. They're on the same team.
Yeah, I think Giddy is nice. Real nice. So let's talk about John Moran. I have this thing about small guards, right? Small guards usually get hurt in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What do you think John Moran, what do you see his career going long term? Not short term, not in the next 3 to 5. Next 3 to 5, he might be. Who knows what. So I've noticed this year that he's developed more 3-point shot. And he's starting to try to work with somewhat of a jumper. I think those are the things that are going to help him out long term. But Ja likes to take it in the paint and feel contact, which may end up causing him a problem from an injury.
I'm high on Ja. He's going to be a multiple year All-Star, all NBA level player. I would love for him to win a chip in Memphis, but I don't know if that'll happen. But I think he's going to have a great career. I do. I think his career is going to be better than Dame's.
Okay. So I personally think like Dame hasn't done anything.
Nothing.
He's done
But
zero.
you know what I mean, though. That's what like the projection. Like Dame made the 75 list. Like, so
I'm still pissed about that.
Yeah,
Dwight Howard was supposed to be on that damn list.
Yeah,
I agree. Fully agree.
That was big time. But I think Ja is a great player. I miscalculated him coming out of school. I watched him play a couple times. I didn't think he was as explosive, like speed wise. I thought he was more. They said he was Westbrook explosive, Allen Iverson like the comparisons. I just thought he was a little different. His issue is he messes with Instagram models. His name is brought up in too many outside, like, hanging with the rapper type. Like, and listen, I'm all for it, doing the Giddy and all that stuff. I'm with it. But when you start getting tied with gangster rappers, baby mamas, and all that kind of stuff, I don't know if where he needs to be at. I don't know if he's Tom Brady with it, like where he live and sleep basketball.
I don't think so. Not from what
you know what I'm saying. So that kind of, I wonder about that. You know what I'm saying. I kind of like the kid. Like the thing about Zion is like a video game kid, and he likes his little, he got his flavor too. But he's not doing in rap videos, and I don't know if I want that Kobe like thing where all they do is basketball. That's what I want. I want that.
I think that's just, I don't know. I would love to see that too from players.
That ship has sailed.
That's hard today. That's hard to
find.
That's
far away.
That's what I want though. So that's the guys that I want. I want the guy who's like that, like Russell Wilson. Like Russell Wilson is so like I've been invigorated with more love for Russell Wilson
So have I.
after watching him go there, having guys go like he's throwing the passes. He got baby Future shifting on the ball. His whole vibe is like it's like he knows he's competing with Brady. Like that's what they said. They said that how do I get on Russell Wilson? But they said that he I don't think he got to cut his hair at all. I don't think
he has to cut his hair either.
They were talking about Russell Wilson wanting to be like a Peyton Manning or a Brady, where he controlled the offense. He was the franchise. Not many people want that, where everything is on them. And he's like one of those guys where he's not going out to the club. He's going home to his wife.
Doing any of that, man.
He's about his business. I like that.
Yeah, Sierra's a totally different person. Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I like that. I like that attitude. Guys who are about the work. The work is the one thing that never gets cheated. It shouldn't get cheated. And that's what often does. The guys who have that crazy talent. Like I was explaining why I sleeve top load team bag every rookie card now. I've even upgraded without I've changed it. And the reason why I did that, I think I've been posting. I had 3 Russell Wilson.
I saw that. I saw your post. Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know if you've been noticing. I've been posting multiple cards of each person that I have. Multiple Sandy Koufaxes, and the reason is that you don't know. I didn't know Mike Trout was going to be Mike Trout in 2012 when I was buying Heritage Baseball. But I sleeved up all my cards, and when he's in there, I went in there and I had 6 Mike Trouts in perfect condition. So my thing now is that I sleeve, top load, and team bag every rookie card. I don't care what they are. That's what I'm doing. That's a 26-cent commitment to each card. When you think about it, you're paying $2 a card, $100 a card for each card. That's the least you could do. I have about 50,000 sleeves, so I'm sleeving up all Chrome cards. Now I ain't gonna lie, I've opened up a lot of Dawn Rust. I ain't sleeving all that shit. Like I'm sleeving all the rookies, but I had to start making these mental notes because this is how I'm going to make my way in the hobby. I'm not buying $1,000 hobby box like juice and gin and juice and never getting your money back. I just can't. I can't do that. That doesn't make sense to me.
So in Franklin says Zion isn't in rap videos, but he's in Mountain Dew and Doritos commercials.
He's sitting on the sofa, mind his business.
Yeah,
not getting shot.
I think we're talking about mindset, who you're around on a regular basis. I mean, when I think about like hanging out with rappers and are you really working out, I think of James Harden.
I've partied with James Harden many a night in Houston.
Yeah, this is my point.
Many a night. Yeah,
there are reports that this guy's out like all the time, just doing his thing.
You know who you did in Houston, who you don't see, and Andre Johnson was the major star here when I was going out to clubs and stuff. But the person that you saw out every single night was Jacoby Jones, the kick returner. He was out in the club. He's from New Orleans. He's a homeboy. So I used to see him out all the time. And the thing with him is that Jacoby didn't smoke, didn't drink. His brother was the person who was doing all the stuff, get the girls and all that stuff. But he would just be out all the time. And it's like to the point where if you're a star or you're a person who is famous, if they can see you all the time, you're not a star anymore. You're just a regular guy. They see you. They know you. They could touch you. I like the fact that when you actually before Moses Malone died, he pulls up in a baby blue Bentley, dressed super clean, super suave, like he's like.
And where was he going? What did he pull up to?
We at the club, like the little sports bar. There's a place, Scott Gertner's sports bar, where all the teens go, and he walks in, and no one knows who he is, but he's tall as hell. I'm like, holy shit. This is Moses Malone, and he pulls up right next to me, and he just sits down. And he's sitting up there. You could tell he got he's matching his baby blue car. He got a baby blue cashmere sweater on.
Yeah, coordinate.
Yeah, just watching him, just being player. And it's like you didn't know, like a lot of people didn't know who he was, but you knew he was somebody. Didn't say much, and he sure enough left with a 20-something. You know, he didn't make it much past that. But because he passed like after like that at that time, he might have passed maybe 3-4 months after that. You know what I'm saying? But when he was there, you could tell he was chilling, wasn't loud like Jacoby Jones used to let people know he was there. You know what I'm saying? You heard him. He wasn't like that. Andre Johnson, very quiet, never talked to anybody.
I
But
can
you
see
know
that
he's there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Which is interesting that we get into this subject that how will that play out in the future with players? You know, that we talk about collectibles and what things are worth and likability and off the field conduct. It'll just be interesting to see how players navigate themselves compared to what players did before. I mean, Kobe was on the other edge, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are going to clubs, people are going to their children's birthday parties. Kobe's like, I'm going to work out.
Yeah.
So he
his
was
own children.
Yeah, his own children. It's like, I'm working out. You know, Jerry Rice was like that. I read the autobiography of Jerry Rice. He didn't go to anything. He was working out.
Like T.O.
Yeah, like T.O. T.O. the same way. So now what? I don't know. You know, what would players do today? Would it be a little bit more of a balance and you still reach success? I don't know.
I think
I will have my eye on Memphis to see what Memphis is doing. Go ahead, Eric.
God damn it! I lost my damn auction. I forgot.
I was going to say I think it's going more of a balance. A lot more athletes have more resources to do the other things that they might be good at or they want to do, you know, artistically or, you know, different things like that. So I think it's just more of a balance. Like, you know, I flip through social media or Yahoo, Google, and you'll see like Kyle Kuzma modeling, you know, during the NBA season. Like, it's just more of a balance, and I like it. I think it's good for their mental state and their creativity too. So I'm all about it.
Yeah, it's just gonna be interesting to see. Are you winning championships, and are you winning multiple? You talking about Kyle Kuzma? Are you winning multiple championships with that kind of balance?
But who is only like 5 or 6 players who have that expectation.
I know.
You don't expect the third, fourth best player on the team to have that type of mentality. It's only the LeBron who spends $1 million on his body. You know, like he has to be that guy. And you know, that's what they're trying to get Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, like, there's nothing wrong with my fitness. There's nothing wrong with my training. And they're like, bro, go train with LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Pay that trainer to live with you. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be willing to make that commitment. And a lot of these guys, and like I said, I've been a trainer for over 20 years now. And I've watched some super athletes come through gyms that I was at, and they don't work hard. A lot of them just don't work hard. A lot of them are extremely talented.
I've known a lot of professional athletes, they do not work hard.
It's very few. You know, Emmanuel Sanders. Actually, what's the kid who passed away? The wide receiver.
Demaryius Thomas.
Demaryius Thomas, and what's the other boy? Emmanuel Sanders. They trained at my gym. They were training with a guy, and they come into the gym. Emmanuel Sanders is like a kick. Like, he's like hilarious. Like, he's a little guy, super little, like 175 pounds, super small, but he's super confident. Like, you see him walking, he has his aura about him. Demaryius Thomas, I saw him. I was underwhelmed in a sense. I thought he would be much bigger because he looks so much bigger on TV.
He looks huge.
And in person, he wasn't like that. But it's just the fact that the people he's playing against, and also I'm big as hell too, but the fact that his attitude was very chill, like very like super, super low key. But Emmanuel Sanders has this huge personality. You know, when he's in the building, you know he's in the building. And watching him work and being so diligent, it was like, damn, it was refreshing. But you could tell the guys who things come a little bit easier to, they're the ones who are on their phone, they're flirting with the female trainers. They're not in it like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it for them per se, but I've just seen it over the years. And it's like, you have to be a different type of person to have that mentality. You don't see the running backs like that. You typically see the quarterbacks. The quarterbacks are the ones you expect to be putting in that extra effort. You know what I'm saying? That super extra, because they have to know where everybody is on the floor. And you know, the one of the things that, you know, people look at LeBron is like LeBron's never got in trouble, never had any off
never
the
had
court.
anything going on. No,
You don't see anything with him, and
that's a
it
big
feels as
positive
though
for LeBron.
that's huge. That
Mhm.
you know, it makes it think that he's all basketball. But when he moved to LA, he started doing a lot of producing. He started executive producing albums, and you know, they said he got voted the worst actor. He got the award for the worst performance in a theatrical role in Hollywood this year for Space Jams, and he should have gotten it because you shouldn't have taken that role. You should have started your own. You know what
Well,
I'm
he
saying?
said, but he always says though that he doesn't want to have anything to do with Michael Jordan like that. But he wears 23, and he makes the sequel to a movie that the GOAT is in. You know, LeBron does this kind of stuff. My favorite thing, and I've told Erica this before, and she knows this, is at the what it was, the 75 when LeBron comes up to Jordan,
Mhm.
right? Jordan is trying to get out of that conversation as soon as LeBron steps up. He doesn't want anything to do with that.
Mm.
And then when LeBron gets, this is the passive aggressive LeBron, right? When he gets to the post game interview, he says, "It was good to see MJ, someone that I've idolized. And in my 20 some years in the business, I've had limited contact with him." As if it's on Mike to reach out to LeBron.
Yeah.
That's LeBron James, man.
But it's crazy because, like I said, I view LeBron like Derek Jeter. If my kid was playing basketball,
Hold up. In what way? Like in what way?
if my son is not into baseball. I was a college baseball player and all that stuff. But if I was a coach, I would want my shortstop to handle themselves like Derek Jeter on the field.
I got
Like LeBron technically plays the game the right way. He's not selfish. He makes the second pass. He does all the right things. So if you're teaching a player from the ground up to model their game after that guy, they're the perfect guy. Like LeBron is basically a superstar version of more of a mega star version of a Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd was Jason Kidd because he couldn't shoot the basketball and he wasn't 6'8". He played downhill, got the ball. He did things a certain way, but you knew he played the game the right way. So I like those type of players, the guys who did what they did. Like I was always very quiet. I never said anything, but I was really, really good. And people wanted me to be they wanted me to be a vocal leader, and that wasn't my thing. I was more of a lead by example. I didn't become J Mike until people I got hurt in college, scholarships taken from me. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to, if I do something great, I'm going to recognize it. You know what I'm saying? And once I got to that point, that's when things changed for me because it was like, I'm going to celebrate my wins, because if you wait for other people to do it, it may not ever happen. So
most likely will never happen.
So I started celebrating my opportunities. And when that happens, some people, it doesn't come off correctly. They might want you to be fake humble and all that stuff. But I played it the right way for too long and watched too much stuff happen. So I always do this. If I do something great, I break a world record or anything cool, I'll take it in. And as long as I accept it and I'm good with it, I don't care what everyone else says. You know what I'm saying? But that's kind of how that stuff works. So, but from that tip, I think LeBron is very similar to Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter is not a top 25 baseball player to me, but in some people's eyes, he is.
But okay. So Derek Jeter is not 25, but you think LeBron is top 3, right?
Oh, 100%. LeBron is a better basketball player than Derek Jeter is a baseball player. Derek Jeter's not Derek Jeter. There are 5 shortstops that play baseball who are better than Derek Jeter. They're not 5. Yeah, they're not 5. They're not 5 small forwards that play basketball who are better than LeBron James. The only person for years you said was Larry Bird. Larry Bird was the person that you put ahead of him, but
Larry Bird. No. Who did I put? No, I had some big men ahead of LeBron.
Your big man thing is funny because you have Chamberlain, you have Kareem, and you have Russell
and Tim Duncan.
But Tim Duncan's a power forward. Tim Duncan is the greatest power forward of all time.
Yeah.
But when you think about that, you have Tim Duncan, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
or you might put Dirk, or I don't know what you call
I
Dirk.
wouldn't say Dirk is better than LeBron. I wouldn't say that.
But Dirk, what do you view LeBron as, a guard or a forward?
I see him as a forward.
And who do you have better than him at forward?
I got Big O at forward better than him. Big O was really a forward point guard. Right?
They had 6 teams.
You say this all the time, J. Mike?
6 teams, bro.
If you played in 1960,
I would have scored 25 to 30 points a game.
But I don't think you would say, you know what, we only had 6 teams.
I wouldn't. Oh, no. I wouldn't let nobody take that from me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's not get that twisted.
I know.
I'm fighting for me. I'm
a 70s kid respecting my elders, man.
I got rookie cards. You know what I'm saying? I got rookie cards. You know, so yeah. I'm all for the publication of self. But when you're looking at it, it's like, I think when you drop players off in certain eras, that's the thing. If you drop Big O off in today's game as is, he's not making a G League team.
Oh no, I disagree.
You can't dribble with one hand and make it out the G League.
But Big O dribble with more than one hand.
No, man.
But you can't really cross compare eras though, because
yes you can.
No, you can't. You can't, because if you take some of the guys now and put them in those eras, they would be playing like they played back then.
No. I'm talking about literally drop them into that era.
It does. You can't. It's too. You can't do that. It doesn't work like that.
So J. Mike, let me ask you this question.
You dropped Kevin McHale off in 2022. He's scoring 20 plus, and he's getting 10 rebounds a game. Kevin McHale. You take Kevin McHale from the 80s, he's getting double 20 10.
No, but I agree with what you're saying, but all I'm saying is not fair, because times are different. That's all. But what you're saying is accurate. If we literally pin dropped them, yes, accurate. Yeah, they would.
Let me ask you this question.
Probably.
I think this is going to sum it up.
Because of speed and all of that stuff.
Is Bill Russell a top 10 player?
Yes.
I want to hear what J. Mike's going to say, because the way you answer this question is like, yeah, your list is going to be totally different than mine.
He's not.
Yeah, it's going to be totally
different. Hold on. He's Dennis Rodman. Where you rank Dennis
Bill
Rodman?
Russell is Dennis Rodman?
Yes, with less scoring ability.
You know, Bill Russell averaged more points than Dennis Rodman.
He didn't play with Michael Jordan. He didn't play with Isaiah Thomas. He didn't play with Joe Dumars. He played his role. What I'm saying, if you drop Dennis Rodman into that time, he scored 16 points a game.
You do know that when Bill played, they didn't even total up rebounds, right? Really, at parts of his career, we don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, that's true.
You do know this, right?
A lot of stats weren't taken.
So you mean to tell me? Hold on. Listen to me now. You talking about Bill Russell? I think Bill Russell is a top 15 player because of his accomplishments. But I would much rather, if you just had to take player for player, I would take Dennis Rodman. Those two guys.
I'm just saying, with that, I respect it, but that just tells me our lists are going to be very different. Because if you're saying Bill Russell is top 15, then every player that played in black and white TV or only was on radio, they're way back there.
Oh, where's George Mikan?
Yeah, but that's a different George Mikan. His physical ability is not Wilt, not Bill.
Hold on, we're talking like player, not era. I'm not talking about era for era. I respect the era. Like, if you're the best player of your era, that means something. But we're throwing all that out. Everybody's in the bowl. So when you're pulling players, those other players are going to get left in the bowl.
Yeah, but George Mikan is not on anybody's top 25 list.
Okay, so he's nowhere. All right, where's Jerry West? The logo.
I would have him probably top 20.
Over who?
Jerry West.
Player-wise.
I have number 15.
Number 15. Is he ahead of Allen Iverson? Is he a better player than Allen Iverson?
I got Allen Iverson at 20.
No, but is Jerry West a better player than Allen Iverson? They go to the park.
Overall
Who's getting picked? You take them at their best. You could drop them at a park. Who's getting picked?
I would pick Jerry West.
Jerry West ass gonna be playing when everybody else gone home and the lights are off. All right, now you already know how I feel about Magic.
You know, as soon as Allen Iverson pass half court, he's gonna be shooting up.
Oh, but he's gonna dunk on somebody. He's gonna cross somebody up. He's gonna give you some sort of entertainment value. Now, I am a vintage connoisseur.
So let me ask you this then. So what
Mhm.
year do players become relevant in this top 25 talk?
70s.
So Jerry West was in the 70s?
He was in the 70s, but he wasn't the 70s. He didn't have a fro.
I think Jay Mike has a present day basketball body.
Oh, actually, I most definitely don't. But hold on, I'm about to tell you where I'm about to go with this.
What you got?
David Scott, Skywalker, David Thompson. You could drop him off in this era, and he would figure it out. Dominique Wilkins. You could drop him off in this era. He would be a stretch 4, scoring 25 to 30 points a game. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like there are examples of those type of players. You have a bunch of players from the 80s and 70s who are extremely overrated. Dennis Johnson is an overrated Hall of Famer. And I have a few of his rookie cards, but he's an overrated Hall of Famer. You know who could play in this generation? Joe Dumars, Isaiah Thomas. Those guys would be players in this time.
Where do you put Isaiah Thomas all time as a point guard?
Point guard, top 5.
Oh wow, yeah, we're different, Jay Mike. I don't even have him in top 15.
How?
You don't have a top 15 point guard?
No.
How?
I can name a lot of point guards that are better than Isaiah Thomas.
Name them.
Are y'all serious right now?
I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He got to be in top 15.
All right, now I'm gonna start doing. Okay, let me pull up some point guards.
Rookie, and I got his partner too.
Nice. Those are sweet.
They're very affordable too. Nobody likes Isaiah. Everybody hates Isaiah.
Okay,
Everybody does hate Isaiah for some reason.
So you tell me, I'm gonna name a name.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me if this player is better than Isaiah Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Gary Payton.
No. Not at all. Not at all.
Yes, he is.
No.
Okay.
What?
I can go either way.
stay with the first name now.
I can go either way.
What'd you say, Erica?
I can go either way.
Okay. I'm all about Gary Payton. Tony Parker.
No.
I believe so. Allen Iverson.
Yes.
Okay.
But he's not a point guard. Allen Iverson is a 2 guard.
Yeah, Allen's a 2 guard.
No, he's a point guard.
He's a point guard by name, but not by position.
No, he's a point guard.
Okay. I say he's guard. Okay, but he's better.
Okay. So we got Steve Nash.
No.
Now I'm 5. What am I? Let's keep track here. Am I 5 or 6 in?
You have Steve
Everyone
above
I'm
him.
naming is better than Isaiah Thomas.
I would put Steve Nash above him.
Okay. John Stockton.
Yes.
Okay. Steph Curry.
Point.
Yes.
Steph Curry's a 2 guard. Okay.
No, he's a point guard.
He's a point guard.
Chris Paul.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep naming. Magic Johnson.
Yes.
He's okay.
Yeah. Keep naming. Now this is what we differ, right?
You named Gary Payton.
Gary Payton's a point guard,
but he's not better than Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, in my world, he is. Lenny Wilkins.
No.
Better
Lenny
than
Wilkins.
Thomas.
He's a better coach than Isaiah Thomas was as a player. Wait, is he a Hall of Famer as a coach and player?
I think so. Yeah.
I think he is.
Derrick Rose.
No.
To me, he's better than Isaiah Thomas. Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose.
He had 3 good years.
I like Derrick Rose. Don't get me wrong.
I have one of the coolest. I have one of the coolest Derrick Rose cards you ever will see in life.
I like Derrick Rose.
Okay, what about Mark Jackson?
No,
but he's very okay. Now you about also why
you know Mark Jackson is top 3 all time assists, right?
No, he was top 3 all time when he retired. He was top 3. I'm a huge Mark Jackson fan. You about to name Rod Strickland too? I already see it coming. I'm big. Hey, and I'm big on those two. Those are two of those are my guys.
I'm naming is better than Isaiah Thomas.
How? Isaiah scored more than them. He was tougher than them. Isaiah was a dog. Isaiah was fighting these people. Like, that's the thing about Isaiah. Isaiah was a dog. He was the Kyrie Irving of today. Isaiah was that. That was Isaiah. Isaiah was Kyrie. Now, if you tell me this, if you would have said Kyrie is a better player than Isaiah Thomas, I would have changed the conversation to Kyrie is probably the top 5 most skilled player to ever play the game.
I don't even think that's even a question if Kyrie is better than Isaiah Thomas.
But he doesn't have the accolades to go up against Isaiah Thomas. He doesn't have it. Isaiah got the chips. Isaiah got.
So you saying if Kyrie won one more championship, that he's in this conversation?
Yeah. Kyrie is like that. Kyrie is a top 5 skilled player of all time.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
not 5 players. There are not 5 players who played the game of basketball more skilled than Kyrie Irving. Now, that doesn't mean you're better. I'm talking about skilled. And you know who's a top 15, top 20 on my kind of list with that? Derek Coleman, one of the most skilled basketball players to ever play the game is Derek Coleman. But most people wouldn't think about that because they don't know. Just like Chris Webber was super creative, ahead of his time, could pass, could run the court, could do a couple of different things. But that's a different skill set. Just like when you talk about rebounding. Like when you look at rebounding, the stuff that Will Chamberlain did, his numbers are absolutely mind-boggling. But the fact that you had the people who fit that slot, the Ben Wallaces, the Davis brothers, Dennis Rodman was better than all those guys. So he says Magic, Big O, Steph, AI, Gary. But see, They're
all better than Isaiah Thomas. Ain't
no way. They're not doing that with Isaiah. Isaiah punching them in their face. He gonna bite them. Like Isaiah is a dog. That's the thing, man. Like these dudes don't have dog. How many times you seen Isaiah with a cut over his eyebrow? How many times you seen him throwing a punch at somebody? These dudes is soft. Isaiah would have been punking these dudes. Word to my mama.
He's not in my top 15.
Ain't nothing.
So we'll stay with that. Oh. Not at all.
Yeah, I like dogs.
Yeah, what about Kenny Anderson?
Oh, come on.
Hold up. See, once again, we're having a skill competition. If you're saying skill, he was probably a more skilled. He was probably a more skilled player than Isaiah
Are you
Thomas.
really saying? But J. Mike, seriously, are you really saying that Isaiah Thomas is top 5 all time at point
guard? Raw point, yes. Wow. I can't name 5 point guards better than Isaiah Thomas.
I just gave you like 15.
You gave me a bunch of tweeners. You gave me a bunch of guys who never handled the basketball. They handled the basketball and they shot the basketball. They weren't the people who set the table. Isaiah Thomas set the table.
What about Damian Lillard?
What about him?
Is he better than Isaiah Thomas?
Hey, he don't have a drawer. His name ain't on one of these damn drawers I got.
He probably should be.
Got one.
Did you put a drawer to Isaiah Thomas?
I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't. Hey, but he don't have one. He don't have one yet. I might have to make one because you disrespecting him.
I'm just saying, man.
Hey, look, you know what? I didn't like Isaiah.
I never have.
He was beating Jordan's ass up.
That, right? I've
never. We can see that.
Hey, you hating, but he was beating Jordan's ass.
And he's from Chicago.
Oh yeah. His story, the Isaiah Thomas story, is amazing. That's an amazing story. You remember that special that came out when we were kids?
Yeah.
With his mom, he used to go shoveling snow and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was an amazing story.
Well, so why do you think if Isaiah Thomas is top 5, right? Even Jordan said he is the second best point guard of all time. Mike was probably being nice in the press conference. Magic and he don't like him. Even people on the Dream Team say the only reason he didn't make it, the team, was because of image. Like, why wasn't, if he's top 5, right? Why wasn't he on the Dream Team?
Jordan didn't want him on the Dream Team.
Why not? Why wouldn't Mike want to roll with top 5? LeBron wanted to roll with Curry.
He was beating the shit out of LeBron. I said LeBron. He was beating the crap out of Michael Jordan. You know what was happening.
I don't think Isaiah himself was beating Michael Jordan though.
They were look at those videos. Jordan hates Isaiah. To this day. They still beefing. Jordan stopping the man from getting jobs.
So you say Isaiah Thomas is better than Big O?
I would take Isaiah Thomas over Oscar Robertson. Yes, me.
Wow.
Listen,
I would say Big O.
I'm. How many minutes have you watched Big O play?
I watch a lot of vintage basketball, man. I watch a lot of vintage basketball. I'm not one of these people that just throws a name out.
No, I'm not saying that. That was more for her. But what I'm saying is that a lot of times, and look, I've fallen in love with certain players based on their nostalgia. You know what I'm saying? Based on their auras and stuff like that. And the Big O, you know, it kind of like it's taken away from Big O. Russell Westbrook has taken the allure that Big O
Russell Westbrook
away.
doesn't play, but Russell Westbrook is not playing defense.
Based on how y'all comparing it, he's a better player than Isaiah Thomas. He's better than Oscar Robertson. He's a better point guard than Oscar
Robertson.
Robertson.
I have not brought up Russell Westbrook in this conversation.
I noticed that.
He's down.
I know Erica knows.
But what I'm getting at is that depending on how you view these people,
exactly
Big O probably doesn't shoot better than Russell Westbrook.
Oh, that was cool.
Hey, but none of them was this guy.
BJ
I love this guy. I love this is a 10. This is an old. Look at that SGC. This is an old SGC. I paid good money. I might have paid about $5-6 for this one back in 2012. I love this guy. He looked like a kid. I love that guy.
Yeah, BJ was fine.
But you hit it on the nail. It's all how you perceive it. What you're going off of, like if you're going off basic skill, accomplishments, like that's just how people the list come about.
Eric, I can tell you, Hakeem was not born in America, and he still had citizenship in another country, so that's why he wasn't on the Dream Team.
Hakeem Olajuwon is the best center I've ever saw.
Yeah, and so there was talk about if he was a citizen at the time, he was going to be strongly considered for the Dream Team. So that is the only reason.
And I just sold his rookie card. I just sold Hakeem Olajuwon star rookie card yesterday. I sold it for $326. The team bag one with the I just sold it.
HOF Nation Sports says we need to do it like this. If Isaiah Thomas is top 5, let's name 5 other point guards for championships that is better.
With champions.
But championships don't mean nothing.
But that's what you just said, J. Mike. You said
hold on. No. What I'm getting at is that if we're just talking about better, if we're just talking about just better player, I'm not talking about who's the most skilled, all this kind of stuff. Isaiah Thomas was a dog. He won in college. He won in high school. He was an absolute winner. He beat up the greatest player of all time. Like, same with Mutombo. Who?
Yeah, we were talking about not born in this country.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But go ahead, Jim.
But what I'm saying is that when you're looking at these guys and I have a different perspective because I remember growing up in front of the television watching the Bulls Celtics, the Pistons Celtics, watching these rivalries and watching them how there were actual fist fights and then they just get right back to basketball. Like it was a tougher game and Isaiah was not a big player. I remember him tearing his hamstring off the bone, wrapping that bad boy up and going back out and competing, playing defense.
So in the top 75 announcement, right? Mm-hmm. What was Isaiah Thomas announced in point guards?
I don't remember. What was it?
It wasn't like what we're talking about greatness.
If
you look at the forwards, LeBron was the last forward. If you look at the guards, Michael Jordan was the last guard with Magic Johnson in front of him, with Steph in front of him. There's no idea.
You thought it was a chance that he'll get bumped off of the list?
No, not off the list. It's just what order was he announced in?
Also, you got to realize Isaiah has a little smut on his name as well. He got sexual assault lawsuits like with the Knicks and all. So he's not the cleanest. He's not the cleanest of players. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I said, he was dirty, but I'm talking about as a dog, like a person you would want on your team. I would want Isaiah on my team taking the big shot, going between the legs. He was the dribbling guy. So this is the thing. Like I said, he was the Kyrie Irving of my childhood. of my beginnings of watching basketball, Isaiah Thomas was the greatest handler of the basketball before the new wave of guys that came in, the Tim Hardaways, the Rod Stricklands came in. He was that guy for that era and that generation. So my perspective on him and how it was the Pistons versus the Celtics, there was a lot going on with it. You had a bunch of brothers and one white dude going up against the Celtics. I had a different viewpoint of those Detroit teams. You know, as well, I wanted Jordan to win. Jordan was soft. He was soft at the time. He couldn't beat those. They were beating his ass up. So when he finally muscled up and said, you know what, they're not going to beat me up no more, and he took it, that's when I became like the ultimate Jordan fan. Because he saw he couldn't beat them playing that tough game and said, you know what, I have to get tougher. I have to get the guys around me tougher in order for us to beat them. You know what I'm saying? I was literally a 12-year-old kid. How old was I? 1990, 19. I was young, but I just remember watching those type of games, man. And so I guess that would be me romanticizing an era, but I can't put none of those dudes ahead of Isaiah. Steve Nash would have got his butt beat to the ground in the 1980s.
Two-time MVP, man.
He didn't deserve either one of them. Kobe should have had one of them. Kobe averaged 37 a game the year Steve Nash averaged 16 and 11 and won MVP. He did not deserve that MVP when Kobe averaged 36. It was either 36.5 or 37 a game. Kobe was doing too much that year. They didn't give it to him because of the Colorado thing.
You got some people rolling with you. You know, Isaiah Thomas, one of my favorite players at some point in time. Then Joe says Zeke understood the subtleties of the game and knew how to rip your heart out in the moment.
Yeah, he was a killer.
Yeah.
He was a killer. You disrespecting the man killer. I'm sitting up here tripping.
I would say if you played basketball right and you're on a top 16, 17, 18 list, or if you're even 21, you're a great player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think you give him his due. You know, you can say I don't like him, whatever, but you got to give him at least his due.
I'm giving him his due.
You giving him a mountain due.
It's like you ain't giving LeBron his due when you put him in your top 10.
I put him in.
You say no.
I love it. Come on,
I ain't gonna lie. That's crazy.
That was crazy. I almost fell out my seat when you said.
Yeah,
I almost fell out my seat.
I just think
your glasses were foggy when you wrote that list.
So look, that's funny. So LeBron is better than Kareem.
LeBron is top 10 all day, every day on everybody's.
Yeah.
Come on.
Is he
Come
better?
On. Stevie Wonder got him on his list.
I'm not picking him over Kobe. That's me. But like anybody that shoots a sky hook, like the sky hook is the most like it's a hard block shot and all that stuff. I ain't rolling with that today. That worked then. That ain't working now.
Are you trying to say the sky hook is a simple shot?
No, I'm just saying it's like John Barry shooting 90% from the free throw line. You realize John Barry was trying to offer Shaq to shoot like, hey man, I think you can shoot 70% or 80%. If you shot underhand, they were like, nah, I'd just rather shoot 50. It looks stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the style points just wasn't right for it, man. And Kareem is definitely the most disrespected elder
yes, he is. Yes,
in
he
sports.
Is.
Like most definitely he is, and I'm disrespecting him too because he ain't. I see what he did. He's all time this and that, but he's gonna be down the list. I'm taking Akeem Olajuwon. Akeem Olajuwon would chicken shake bake the crap out of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar trying to guard him. Olajuwon's the best center I've ever seen play. He destroyed Shaq. Like he used to make Shaq look
Patrick Ewing, David Robinson.
He destroyed the greatest era of centers. Dikembe Mutombo. He humiliated Rick Smits. He destroyed the greatest generation of big men because that was the greatest generation of big men come through with those guys, and he absolutely annihilated them, humiliated them.
Dexford says
so
one of the most underrated big men that people forgot was Rasheed Wallace. First big who was comfortable shooting from three. He just didn't have the Mamba mentality.
No, he didn't care. He didn't want to be a Hall of Famer. Some guys didn't want that. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was fine, scoring 12 points a game, 14 points a game. He was better than Chris Webber. and Chris Webber's a Hall of Famer, but I think Rasheed Wallace was a better basketball player. Like he's one of those guys where the other players would say, "Yo, you know who gave me fits? Rasheed Wallace."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he was
something
that.
else.
He was a player. He was a player's player.
Yeah.
You know.
It was something
But
else.
that's how I would view that. But he was most definitely a great player, but never. You know, the Pistons team, that championship team, they didn't have a Hall of Famer until Ben Wallace won it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
Hall of Fame.
so and to be honest with you, Rip Hamilton probably should be the next one that's considered.
He should be in the Hall of Fame.
Because he was a very good player on a great team and a team that stuck together for a number of years. But you know, Chauncey Billups was a bust in Boston. He was the fourth player picked, I believe.
But it was asking him to do stuff that he wasn't good at.
No, they had a team full of young players. That team, that's when the Celtics had like 8 first-round draft picks. They had Ray Mercer. They had Antoine Walker. They had Walter McCarty, I believe. They had Chauncey Billups. Then they had I think they had some of the old guards still there as well. It was just too many young guys at one time, and they all couldn't develop.
Yeah, I mean, even when Rick Fox went there, though, they were asking him to do stuff Rick Fox doesn't do.
Pretty Tony.
Right?
Well, Rick Fox was the number one player. He was their number one draft pick in '91.
Yeah, but they were asking him to score 23 points a game. That's
not. He was just trying to look pretty.
What?
You know. So I can't. You can't even hate on Rick Fox. The women love Rick Fox, man. You hate on Rick Fox is bad. You just don't look just like, man, he was a good player, man. He a legend. They be getting his autographs even sell well.
They do.
I'm really trying to find that damn Akeem Olajuwon because dude really bought.
Tom says Rip reminds him of Kawhi.
No, not at all. They're completely different players.
Yeah, they play the game very different.
Yeah.
Ben Wallace was also my favorite player. I bought his jersey before the Pistons win, and the championship without Big Ben, they would not win. The only man in that time that could stop shots.
And you know who Kawhi really plays like? He plays like Jordan. That's who Kawhi plays like. He plays like Jordan.
You talking about mid-range jump shot? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about plays defense. He slows the game down. He shoots the mid-range jumper. He plays. His game is more identical than Jordan. He is.
You know, I hear someone say that someone plays like Jordan. I start shaking.
I said play like. I didn't say is. Like it's different. Like Kobe, you can't say Kobe did not play like Jordan. Kobe was an upgrade.
Kobe studied Jordan. He copied Jordan.
He was an upgrade. He was an upgraded skill set of Jordan. Kobe had a greater skill set than Jordan. Kobe
In what way?
He dribbled the basketball better. He shot the ball better. He passed the ball better. The thing that Jordan had over Kobe is he was more athletic than Kobe.
Okay, that's a way of putting it, J. Mike.
That is the only thing that's different.
That's a way of putting
it. I would also
that's
say
the way it kind of like normalizing the GOAT. That's a way of doing it.
How you normalize with the guy who might be second, and he's Kobe.
Kobe's far away in a second place position from Michael Jordan.
Wait, how far?
Far.
Man, you tripping. As I look at my Kobe drawer, where's my Kobe drawer? Oh, it's right here.
See, Tom is like, man, I gotta jump off the bandwagon right now.
Now look what I'm gonna do. Now see my Kobe drawer.
Yeah.
He only has one sticker. So everybody else, all these other bums, they got 3. You see how they got 3 and all that stuff? I don't even have a lot of Kobe's. But Kobe got his own drawer. You know what I'm saying? But I did make a distinction. Jordan's drawer is gold.
Okay.
Kobe's is silver. So I did make this thing. Jordan is number 1. But Kobe was more skilled than Michael Jordan. Kobe, to me, is the most skilled basketball player to ever play. I think I believe Kobe's number 1, and I'll be hard pressed to say that there were more skilled people to play basketball than Kyrie Irving. Just overall skill. Well, Kevin Garnett. Not Kevin Garnett. KD. I have KD. I have Kyrie like in the top 5 of most skilled
I can see that. Yeah.
basketball players.
Kyrie's on another level. I can see that.
Yeah. Because I believe Kyrie is more skilled than. You think he's more skilled than Steph? I mean Steph Curry. Skill.
Kyrie?
Yeah.
You
Skill.
talking about ball?
Skill,
Hold on.
yes. I
Are
would
you
say
talking about ball handling? When you say skill,
Everything. I'm
everything.
saying
break
they're
this up.
packaged. They're packaged. They're what they
Packaged, yeah.
encompass.
I don't know if I'll say Kyrie is more skilled than Steph Curry.
If you have a big shot, who taking it?
Steph Curry.
We already know, and y'all gonna lose. I know it's gonna happen when Kyrie take that last
How many
shot.
big shots has Kyrie hit? You act like
I know
big
all
shots.
he won LeBron he won them titles.
Okay. Ray Allen hit a shot too. That doesn't mean he's
Okay,
more.
well that's 2 titles that LeBron had. That just
Yeah.
takes away from him being
You
close
know
to Jordan.
LeBron's not taking a shot. When did LeBron take the shot?
Oh well,
Somebody's got to hit the shot, right?
We're in agreement. We're in agreement with this part, but I'm talking about the skill part. The fact that there is not a player. Kyrie is the only person that has that dog like Kobe had. He is
I
it.
personally think people look at Steph and they try to find holes in his game.
I disagree. No.
No, I think you wanna like Steph. I love Steph. He's just
I think liking Steph and finding holes in his game is two different things.
But
there's not too many holes in Steph Curry's game.
He plays no defense.
Oh, he plays more defense than probably most of the point guards in the league.
Who? You see what happened when James Harden? You see what happened when Kyrie said, "You know what, James Harden, I got you." Slap the floor, Duke style, camera indoors ass. He ain't scored nothing. James Harden had the worst day of his life when Kyrie got mad. Kyrie is that type of dude. Like when you have the dog in you, they could be bigger than you, stronger than whatever. But you're not letting nobody play.
Does Steph have a dog in him?
No,
really.
He has a Shih Tzu in him. But I love Steph though. He's a Shih Tzu though. I had a Shih Tzu. It died.
So does Clay have a dog in him?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
I love Clay.
I got to check in with you, J. Mike. Okay.
No, I love him. I love Clay because Clay knows his role, but he technically doesn't.
You saw Clay snap for 41 last night, right?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
I saw. I'm just glad he didn't get hurt. You know, I rock with him light skinned dude. But look, I love Steph, but he's not like Kyrie is a dog. Like Kyrie's a real dog, bro.
Okay. You don't see how much of a dog he is in his playing game.
I have a question. So let me tell you. You think who's is Kyrie deferring to anybody?
Is Kyrie deferring to? He's going to refer to KD.
He don't defer to no one. Kyrie didn't defer to LeBron.
If the game comes down to the line, Durant's taking the shot.
No, he gonna want to take the shot. Kyrie gonna have the basketball. That's the thing about. That's why I like Kyrie. Kyrie thought he was the best player on the basketball court. They said Kyrie was the third wheel in Brooklyn.
So Sylvester says you really can't say who is the greatest because the rules have changed over the years. People should do best in their time. Kyrie played defense only one time.
But that's all that mattered. It was that time. What I'm getting at is that moment. You have to be willing to be bigger than the moment. And he was that. He didn't defer. He wanted the ball. LeBron.
Are you talking about the shot that Kyrie hit over Steph? Is that what you're talking about?
No. I'm talking about in general. Like they had a big game. They just traded James Harden because he wanted to leave. Kyrie locked his ass up. Just because the fact that he was able to do that, that's what I like.
That's not true.
That's not true. That's not true.
I mean, you know, LeBron hasn't hit many game winners, man.
Actually, LeBron has actually hit more game winners than Jordan and Kobe. That's actually they actually Nick Wright brought that up. He's actually hit more game winners than both of them.
You probably don't want to quote Nick Wright, right? You don't want to.
Nah, but he's correct on that. I saw the stats. It's true, but it's more or less the what we think of them is just not the same. We don't view them the same. We think that Jordan and Kobe would do things differently, or they're known for hitting those bigger shots. What's Steph?
As Donovan says, LeBron is top 10 with a sore knee. Healthy LeBron is top 5.
Wait, when? What are we talking about? I don't think you could actually argue LeBron outside the top 3. And to be honest with you, arguing that Kobe is better than him is tough as well. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna do it because Kobe's my guy. We graduated high school together.
I think Kobe's better, but that's just Erica. What would you rank Kobe and LeBron?
You know, I'm honestly I'm very spot on with J. Mike on that top 3. I had the same thinking.
So
you
Erica,
cannot
who's your best pre-1975 player? that's not
75.
Yeah, like who's your vintage player that you like? You know what, that person right there can ball.
Well,
Yeah, so is that the Philly bias though? Is that a
oh,
Philly
come on,
bias?
come on, no, well,
Okay,
come on,
just checking in.
no, Will is so underrated. Like he, like what J Mike said, like plucking players, different time era. Will could play in any era. Number one, and he's a top 5 player all time.
Tom says, "Where's Will?" I think he played even better today with his health and athletic routine. He
I
did
agree with you, Tom, completely, 1,000%. I agree with it, 1,000%.
Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
Are you comparing Rudy Gobert to Will Chamberlain?
Oh, come on.
That's what Wilt would be in today's game. He'll be Rudy Gobert.
No way.
Wow.
Yeah.
No way.
He'll be Rudy
So
Gobert.
the history of the game means nothing to J Mike. Huh?
It means everything to me. But what I'm saying is that I'm not going to sit up there like, so say for instance, if we're playing video games and when you play video games, like when you play the old teams versus the new teams, if you take their speed, power, athleticism across the board and just transfer them into this game, they're gonna be, it's not gonna be the same. Now, Wilt Chamberlain, I believe that his physical abilities, his pure presence, 300 pounds of 6'7'2", he would be a feared person, right? But he would have to guard KD or something like that. Like it wouldn't work. Like it's certain things you have to look at it for the era that they're in. His numbers make Wilt, like you can argue him top 5 all time because he has numbers that no one else had. But just like with baseball, like, so look, I'm a baseball historian. I don't count a lot of these baseball guys because they did not play against black athletes.
Agreed.
So since they didn't do that, I look at some of their numbers like, Jackie Robinson wasn't a top 25 Negro League player. And when he first got called up, he was Rookie of the Year. Satchel Paige, how did I jump to baseball? Satchel Paige didn't get called up to 1946. He was 46 years old when he got called up. Guess what happened at 46 years old? His ass won Rookie of the Year. So I view this stuff in these restraints. Josh Gibson was arguably better than Babe Ruth, but he was crazy. If he had the mental checkout that Jackie Robinson had, he would have been the first player easily. He would have got called up 10 years before Jackie Robinson because he was that much more talented. But when you think about all these different eras and stuff, the eras are what I look at. If you're taking someone raw, like, hey, this person from this time during the people he played against, I respect it for that era. And part of the reason why I'm saying this is that I compete in a sport of powerlifting.
Mm-hmm.
If you base it on like pound for pound and lift for lift, I'm one of the greatest people to ever bench press. Like you walk into a gym, you see a bench. I'm one of the greatest people to ever do it. Across anybody that's ever walked the earth, me. I'm 40-some years old and I'm benching 660 pounds, drug-free. The people I compete against are 450 pounds. So, but they benching 750 pounds. Like they're benching some big numbers, but they're on drugs and stuff and all that kind of stuff. But when I look at, if you take me comparing a 44-year-old man who benches 660 pounds versus a 28-year-old man who benches 700 pounds, but he's almost 500 pounds, which is more impressive? So it's like, it's kind of like hard to compare them, but I'm going to look at the person who's doing it a certain way. So that's how when you cross era. But if you just say outright, who benches more? The dude who benches 800 pounds benches more than me. So there's a difference between stronger and better. So with some of these arguments, you have people who may have greater stats. They might have bigger numbers, but are they better? That's the thing. That's what I'm looking at. So when you say better, so Wilt Chamberlain or no, what's the logo? Jerry West versus Jerry West is probably not better than Paul Pierce.
Yeah, I think there's a 70, 60, 70 thing. Because Paul Pierce is not, I don't even know what Paul Pierce ranks all time. I haven't even got to that part of the list yet.
He top 75.
Oh, he's probably 74.
Wait, huh?
You do know his nickname, The Truth, has nothing to do with him, right? Has nothing to do with him playing on a court or anything.
Shaq named him The Truth, right?
Yeah.
Why did he call him The Truth?
It couldn't have anything to do with his basketball ability. Paul Pierce? Come on, J. Mike. Paul Pierce was doing nothing in Boston until Allen and KG got there.
He was a 6-time All-Star before they got there.
Okay. What was he do? What was he in the playoffs?
What year did Celtics? Hold on. I got a question.
Where's he at?
What year? Wait, hold on. What year did Paul Pierce? What year did they win the championship? What year was that? 2004.
Let's find out.
So he was drafted in 98. So yeah, 98, 99. So when they got there, he was already an All-Star. He was already an All-Star. The worst person of the three was Ray Allen. Ray Allen was the worst.
They won in 2008.
2008, but he was already a 6+ time All-Star by that time.
Okay.
So he was already accomplished. The thing with Paul Pierce is that everybody gets mad at him because he thought he was better than LeBron and Kobe, and he really believed it.
2008. He was an All-Star in 2002 to 2006.
So he was established. He was already building that reputation of being who he was. I like the confidence. I'm gonna roll with the guy that's confident. I was gonna pull out. I had a really nice Paul Pierce rookie card, really nice autograph, numbered. It was nasty, but I don't know. I just like different type of players, and Paul Pierce is one of those kind of guys. Like Reggie, would you have Reggie Miller?
Reggie Miller. Let's see here. I don't have him top 25. He's not top 25, J. Mike.
Wait, shooting guard.
Reggie Miller.
Who's your top 5? Who's your top 5 shooting guards? Let's see if you get this right.
I'm just gonna go off the dome. Michael Jordan. Kobe Bryant.
Okay. This is very important. What you say next is very important.
I know. Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's very important who you say next. There's only one person.
There's no pressure, sir. There's no pressure.
It's one person. It's one person.
I'm curious to see you. I think I know who you're going to say.
You biased as hell, so I know what you're going to say.
I'm going to say Bernard King is in my top 5.
What? Now, look. Clyde Drexler is number 3 all time.
No.
Dwayne Wade is number 4.
I intentionally did not say
Wade
Clyde
is number
Drexler.
4.
I intentionally did not say Clyde Drexler.
Clyde the Glide. He was actually, I lied. Clyde the Glide is number 4. Dwayne Wade passed Clyde Drexler to number 3.
Dwayne Wade's 3.
I have Drexler.
Dwayne Wade is the third
I have
best.
Wade.
Third best shooter of all time?
I believe so.
I don't think so. Yo,
Prime
Erica, you think that?
I do.
Prime Dwayne Wade is top 3 all time. Prime.
I do.
And you said Bernard King?
Yeah.
That player is now a small forward. Bernard King is really a damn near 4.
J. Mac, I'm learning that anybody before 1976 is trash.
I collect.
You're trash, man.
Hold up. You see me? I just posted Bernard King's rookie card a couple days ago. I love Bernard King. I loved him playing in New York, playing on the post. He was a post player.
So is Dwayne Wade better than Tracy McGrady?
Yes. Not more skilled. He's a better player. Not more skilled. Not more talented. No.
That's a great way to put it, J. Mike.
I'm blown away.
So you think T-Mac
is a better 2 guard than Dwayne Wade?
T-Mac is a 3.
He's a 2 guard. He's a 6'9" 2 guard.
But he was always considered and listed as a 3. Always. He's a small forward.
Well, I guess it's like Steph Curry being a 2 guard or point guard.
Kind of, but he doesn't have the accolades.
But hold on, is Tracy McGrady, is he listed as a 3?
Yes, he is.
You sure about that?
100%. Vince Carter was a 2 guard on that team. when they played together. Actually, when they played together, T-Mac was on the bench. Let's keep it 100.
Yeah, he really wasn't playing a lot.
But he, even on those other teams, he was you had Rafe Alston was their point guard for some of those years here in Houston.
You do know Tracy McGrady is listed as a 2 guard, right?
I've never, my whole existence was him always at the 3.
Yeah, he's listed as a 2 guard. I've always thought of him as a 2 guard.
I always thought him as a 3.
It's interesting. We've learned a lot about each other today, right?
Hey,
I'm learning a lot about my people here.
I'm super fair, man. I'm a fair.
Like when I think of greatest 2 guards, Dwayne Wade is not number 3 on my list.
Who's you have Bernard King as number 3 on your list?
I have Bernard King top 5.
Okay, so who will be number 3, or who else fills out that?
Are you all sleeping on Bernard King?
I'm not. I have 2 beautiful Bernard King records. I collected him because I love his game, but you have to be realistic sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta be realistic.
So HOF Nation Sports says the year D Wade won a chip without Shaq. So he was playing with Bosh and LeBron James.
Wait, that don't.
Nah, that probably is a typo.
No, it's the year.
That's probably a typo.
The year he won it with Shaq made him a legend.
Yeah.
Because he carried Shaq.
Yeah, he carried Shaq.
He carried Shaq. That's what made him a legend. The fact that he took game, and I told you this on the phone. I believe everyone's talking about.
Connor says my knowledge is lacking. This is what Connor tells me.
Hey! But look, FD. When we're on the phone the other day, what did I tell you? I said Morant reminds me of a young D Wade, not Allen Iverson.
Look at Sylvester.
If you go back,
Sylvester's thinking the same thing I'm thinking. Jay Mike, list is more on attitude than skills. Anyone before 85 would not be on his list.
That's not true. That's not true.
And I think Connor is sleeping on Bernard King.
So I have a question. So where does Patrick Ewing where does he rank in the center fold?
Patrick Ewing?
Where does Ewing rank?
He's not top 7. No, he's not.
Is David Robinson ahead of him?
Yes. You can name several more. Yes.
Moses, you'll have Moses ahead of him?
Yes.
You'll probably have Ralph Sampson ahead of him too.
No, not Ralph Sampson.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. You might have Rick Smith ahead of him though. Gotta watch you.
No, I don't have it.
The dunking Dutchman.
Oh,
I
just have admiration, and I appreciate, and I've watched a lot of film before I was born.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm not just erasing that off the map because these guys played in the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
But listen, I'm not doing that either. And
I'm not on this whole ESPN thing where I just looking at certain players and everybody else doesn't exist. Because when Westbrook, and I always bring up Westbrook character, but when he was averaging a triple-double, I was like, man, show me some defensive footage on this guy.
Oh, who, Westbrook?
Yeah, when he was averaging a triple-double.
Bro, they had 8 NBA teams and 2 black players when Big O did what he did, man. Come on now.
Don't sleep on Big O.
We got, I'm not sleeping on, but we got to be honest. At some point, we got to be. They only had 8 teams, bro. 8 teams, and they thought blacks couldn't play basketball. So that whole little era, it got a little side eye, man. We got to be honest. I don't know if the Negro player can play basketball. That's a tough. Hey, man, that's a tough one to sell me, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. That is a tough one to sell me. That's what was going on during that time. I don't know if the Negro player can play basketball. They don't have. I don't know.
That was a
so we have to be very careful with how we judge these older players. And just like who are the best Negro players in the league during that time? What team were they on?
Boston Celtics.
No, they're on the Harlem Globetrotters.
Oh, you talking about way back? I'm talking about NBA.
Yeah, but shit, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar started as a Harlem Globetrotter.
Will Chamberlain.
Yeah,
Will Chamberlain. So with that being the case, we have to view these eras a little bit different. Just like I told you with baseball, I view these guys a little bit different due to the fact that they weren't playing against the best players. the Negro Leagues was generating crazy amounts of money. The reason why Satchel Paige was such a powerful man because he owned his team. He was getting the gate. He was the best baseball player in the world. That's why they were setting up these games. So when they start talking about some of these guys, I look at it a little bit different. I look at it based on your competition. The best ball being played during that time was in the Negro Leagues. So some of that major league stuff, I kind of don't look at it like everybody else does. Now, I am a person with a ridiculous amount of vintage baseball. I respect these guys, but we got to be honest at some point. Like if you look at what's the guy, Jim Thorpe, right? Jim Thorpe, one of the greatest athletes of all time, top 5. I think in America's history, you can make an argument that Jim Thorpe is a top 5 athlete of all time across all sports.
But now, under your definition of what you said before, he cannot be.
Wait, how?
Because of the era in which he played. Who was he running against, J. Mike?
Hold on, I'm about to tell you. He was professional in 5 sports. You can't compare that.
Well,
so
who
what
was
I'm
he
getting at is
against in 5 sports though?
He was running for his life. He was an Indian.
I understand.
So
I know this.
So what I'm getting at is he was doing what he was doing. I said athlete. I didn't say he was the best football player. I said best athlete. He crossed. Just like Deion Sanders was a great 2-sport athlete, he was an okay baseball player. He would have won the World Series MVP if they would have won that year, but he wasn't a great baseball player. Bo Jackson was a far superior baseball player than Deion Sanders, but the thing is, Deion Sanders was a much better football player than Bo Jackson was.
Let me ask you this. This is a great question. FT, what do you think of Elgin Baylor? I think very highly of Elgin Baylor, one of the most overlooked greats of all time. J. Mike, what do you think when you hear the name Elgin Baylor? What do you think?
I think Laker.
Okay, let's peel that out. Let's peel that back. Okay, Laker Afro. Let's get on that court with it, though. Where's he at?
He's unfortunately one of those players that if you drop him off in a certain time frame, he's not who he is.
He's gonna get lost because of championships, lack thereof.
Did he win one? Because Jerry West only has one.
No, Elgin Baylor retired the year before they won that one.
So he has no chips?
He has 0 because Bill Russell was winning championships.
Oh, that's messed up.
And Jerry West only has 1. So that's
now hold on. Now we're people are saying like I have a bias between 1980, right? 85 or something like that. It's different in baseball. My thoughts and considerations are completely different.
Well, but why is that, J. Mike? Why is that?
You know why? Baseball is a sport that you can drop players off in certain eras and they're going to be who they are. You're throwing a baseball. You're hitting a baseball. So the dynamic is a little bit different. You take a Cal Ripken. You drop him off in today's game, he's going to be Cal Ripken. He might be playing third base starting out instead of being that shortstop, but he's going to be who he is. Reggie Jackson's going to hit the baseball.
You know, Reggie Jackson when he went to the Hall of Fame, he had the most strikeouts of any player going to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, but that's
thought Reggie Jackson shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, all right, hold on. So let's get this part. They didn't like Reggie Jackson because Reggie Jackson was a brother on brother time.
Oh, I get that.
Hold on. So hold on. They can't. This was. Now this is about to go to my favorite player of all time, Jose Canseco. Jose Canseco, like I said, he has the most important sports card of the 1980s because without him, there's no Ken Griffey '89 Upper Deck, all that stuff. He saved the hobby. But anyway, there was a rule, or there was a thing where no player had ever hit 500 home runs and not got elected to the Hall of Fame. That's why Jose Canseco was blackballed out of baseball. He finished with, I believe he finished with 485 home runs. He was good enough to hit those next 15, 20 home runs, whatever it was. But they knew that if he got to 500, they would have to deal with this at a greater level. He got blackballed. Then that's when he started ratting on everybody. But that would have put a lot of people in some weird positions. Like if you say Bob Gibson was throwing 100 miles an hour in 1960 something. He would be Josh Gibson. Now, he wouldn't be able to pitch the same way, but I do believe that you have certain players in certain sports that transcend. Like if you say Jim Brown would have been a version of something still. Jim Brown was 240 pounds running 4.5 40. He would have been something. It wouldn't have been like he didn't belong on the football field. I believe in other sports, it plays out a little bit differently. Like the 1970s, Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan would be Nolan Ryan right now. Nolan Ryan, and the thing about baseball is that they threw inside. They controlled the game. The pitchers controlled the game. They backed you off the plate. They didn't allow you to dictate what pitches they were getting. They would earhole you. I don't know if you saw at the Mint Collection, they had the Jackie Robinson display. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Did you go by the display?
Oh yeah, spent quality.
You saw, but did you see that they had pads in his hat?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw
his
that.
hat was padded because he was getting thrown at.
Yeah.
So when you think about this, you mean to tell me if Jackie Robinson had to play in this era where he has a helmet on, you can't really hit him, how much better he would have been? So I think baseball is a different sport in terms of comparing athletes one-to-one. Basketball is a little bit different because I think that the game has gotten so athletic that you can't, in football, the players have gotten so big. So it's like you can't do the comparison, but baseball is where you can make these comparisons. You can drop these guys off in the middle, like Mickey Mantle. You could have dropped Mickey Mantle off in this generation. He was hitting 550-foot home runs out of Yankee Stadium in 1955. So you can drop those kind of players off. You can't drop other players in different sports off in this day and era. It just doesn't work. But in terms of that, you can.
I think, but J. Mike, all I'm saying is I think before 1977, if you're in the NBA and your name comes up to J. Mike, it's not happening. I don't think there's any player that's an exception to that rule for you. Not one. I know you're rolling through them. You're like, nope.
Hold on. So 1977, David Thompson could have. I think David.
Oh, see, now you're talking about David Thompson. But when I talk about Bernard King, you looking at me sideways?
No. David Thompson was a hyper athlete. He was a hyper athlete. Look at his. Look at David Thompson's
you remember
highlights.
Who Bernard King was, sir?
He was a 12-foot shooting on the baseline guard. Tough nose, getting the ball in the post. He was basically a 4. He was
I
a
want to
post-up
talk
guard.
about Earl Monroe. I want to start naming other players. Right?
Hold up. I love Earl the Pearl.
Okay.
I love Earl the Pearl.
Right.
So it's like you could talk about Dave Bing or something like that. Like
I was gonna go down this list.
So look, if you
talk about Dave
Elton
Bing.
Hayes, yeah, he would be one of those players who would not be able to play basketball in this day and age. It's kind of how it is. It's kind of how it is. Wes Unseld, he would have been an enforcer type. So instead of him being a Hall of Famer, he would have been an Anthony Mason or something weird like that.
Are you saying that because he was undersized? Why are you saying that?
I'm saying because of their skill.
Because he had more offensive game than Anthony Mason.
But Anthony Mason would beat you up. Like he would have been an enforcer. So what I'm saying is sometimes these players, when you take them from one generation and put them in another, their skill set does not translate. I'm saying in other sports, baseball is the only sport where you could take player for player and drop them off in an era and they would be able to somewhat be what they were.
So could you drop Babe Ruth off right now?
Yes, you could.
I don't think so.
Guys were throwing 90 miles an hour then.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is their chance of being who they were are greater than in baseball than there are in any other sport. If you think about it, I'm about to show you somebody right now. The greatest center of all time, Jim Ott. This is
we talked about this, right? Now what is Jim Ott?
What is he gonna do?
So the whole game changed around him. The whole game changed.
So football. So what I'm saying is you couldn't do it. It's hard to do it in football. You know who now they're gonna say is the greatest running back of all time is Barry Sanders. No one has ever.
Jim Mike, I don't know if he's the greatest running back of all time, but go ahead.
No, there's no one like him. There's no one like him.
There's no one like him. I agree with that.
And the thing with Barry
is he better than Jim Brown? Let me just ask you this.
Yes.
Is he better than Jim Brown?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is he better than Walter Payton?
Yes. Walter Payton would be
we differ. We just differ that.
Hold on, and look. I love Sweetness. But he was Sweetness because they ran the football exclusively. He was not. He could throw the football. He wasn't a great receiver of the football.
But Detroit, that's how they act like the Detroit Lions were throwing
Middle fake to him, middle screen, and let Barry do his thing. There's no comparable player in no other sport where you have where there's no one who's ever like you know how Jordan is Jordan, but they were able to have a Kobe where he kind of looks like him a little bit. He walks a little bit better. He walks like him, talks like him. There's nobody like Barry Sanders. You can't name me a comparable running back who resembles Barry Sanders.
Oh, but we're talking about running styles now. I'm talking about moving, matriculating the ball down the field. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, you can't. Well, if you say that, because Barry Sanders was a home run hitter, he would go for 15, go for 40, and lose 12.
Yeah,
because he had no line. But was
Walter Payton didn't have a line of 77. Walter Payton didn't have a line of 75.
And how many yards was he averaging?
Oh, he was balling, bro. Balling.
He was balling.
Yeah,
but look at compare his numbers to Barry Sanders.
He had nothing, man. But go ahead.
Compare his numbers to Barry Sanders. Let's see how you get with that. You can't do it.
Who are you talking about?
You can't.
Walter Payton?
Barry Sanders versus Walter Payton. You can't do it.
Yeah, but I mean, under that argument, Emmitt Smith is the bomb.
Oh no, he played the longest. He's like Karl Malone. He played a long time. Emmitt's last game was in Arizona
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So no one's gonna make that argument. You know what I'm saying? Like
don't forget Eric Dickerson.
Like this. I love me some Eric.
I love it. Eric
like I respect the old players. I really I'm a
it's all baseball, man.
Guy, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying in basketball, these players.
So what I'm getting at is that I'm more of a baseball person per se. If people really know that, I'm a baseball guy. So I respect the Eric Dickersons and all that stuff. I love these guys. Okay, give you another example. Who's the greatest defensive player of all time?
Greatest defensive player of all
football. NFL football. It's only one player.
Defensive player? I would say Deion Sanders.
I would say this guy.
That's an argument.
Now, I have Deion Sanders number 2.
Okay, Deion is okay.
Yeah, like Deion says, the earth is covered by 2/3 water, 1/3 land, and he says it's covered by 2/3 water, and I cover the rest. So I have most definitely respect for Deion, where they didn't even throw to him. Like it was months where he didn't see a football in his direction. That's why he doesn't have a lot of interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Like Asante Samuels was trying to compare himself to Deion Sanders.
No,
he said his stats were better, but he was saying they didn't throw to Deion. Deion literally took away the other side of the field. So there's no player that's ever done that, where they've controlled and manipulated a whole side of the football to where you just did not even attempt to throw the ball his way. It got to the point where they were putting him in positions to touch the ball. Like, hey, let's put him in an offense so he could touch the ball.
Yeah, he played wide receiver.
Yeah. Kick returner, punt returner.
Yeah, like Eric said, his song "Must Be the Money" was the bomb too.
Oh, I love that song. Hey, Deion, I love me some Deion. Deion, my guy.
So what do you all collect? Like, Erica, when you went to the show, you say you picked up some cars. What are you looking for in the next 3 to 6 months? Do you have some stuff on your radar?
I want to get me a nice wheel.
Okay.
What year?
I don't know what year it is, but I just know it had the pink backdrop on it. I don't know if it's 73. Because I was trying to pick it up raw, but at the last Philly show they didn't have it raw. But a couple people
just about
had
to
it
ask you. I was about to ask you, are you a graded card kind of person?
Not really. I appreciate the raws, but I'm slowly becoming more of a graded person. Slowly. How about you?
Are you talking about this car right here?
Yes, that's the card. That's the card. What is that? What's that? 70?
That's a 71, 72 tops.
Okay, 71, 72. That's the one that I want. I
See,
just love the look of it.
I'm in a weird position. I have some amazing raw cards, and I haven't graded them. So like these are things I have. I have like Birds first. Like I'm tripping. So we have Ozzie Smith rookie cards. I got Bird's first card by himself. I got 2 of them. I have I just saw it. I got a bunch. I have every Nolan Ryan that he's ever produced. Like every Nolan Ryan every Topps Nolan Ryan. I have all of them. So I have some raw cards that if I were to grade, I would be grading. Like I it's a lot, right? But the problem is that I don't allow people to dictate price to me. And I believe when you grade a card, people start dictating stuff to you. Like I sold the Akeem Olajuwon 86 what's the card? 86 star card. And it's in a pack. It's a team pack card. And the guy was like, hey man, one just sold for $285 out of the pack. I said, well, buy one in the pack. And he said, there are none on the market. I said, well, how can you dictate a price to me? And he says, you know what? He said, you're right. He says, I'm going to give you your price. He gave me my price, $325. Okay. Now, I bought 5 of those team sets for $3 a piece from a local card shop 15 years ago. I literally, like I said, I've never spent more than $130 for a card. I literally just bought the right cards in 2010, 2011, 2012, and I've been eating off it since then.
Gotcha.
It's the fact that me and FD were talking about this, the fact that I think a lot of people who are getting into the vintage cards, they don't know enough about the sport. They don't know enough about the athletes. They can't have dialogues concerning the players that they're collecting. Everything is Patrick Mahomes or Mickey Mantle.
Yeah.
There are players within the game. Like when I talk to people, I like talking to people like, so Cal Ripken's, like I have a bunch of the Topps Cal Ripken rookie cards. I have, I think I have, so this is 3 of them. I think I got 5 or 6 of them. I like players who have a story. Like the people who are coming in and they're trying to buy the vintage guys. What's going to happen is that everyone can't buy the Mickey Mantles, the Roger Marises. I think they're gonna clamp on to these kind of players. So if you know the history of the sport, you can go pick up the Ryan Sandbergs. You can go and pick up the Ozzie Smiths because you have a little more education. I saw the guy at the Mint collection with the Ricky Henderson collection. That was very interesting because of how Ricky was viewed most of the 80s in terms of his persona and how he was very much a player that you could drop off in today's game right here. He would tear this game up. He would tear Major League Baseball up. That's what I'm saying. Like in terms of like knowing about the players, they're just collecting based on prices. Like, oh, this guy's worth a lot of money. That's who I'm collecting. I'm picking up this guy, and I'm looking at him like, you don't even know who this guy is. Like, dude told me they said Nolan Ryan was a mid-tier something, and I'm like, what? Like I couldn't believe it. And it's like when you think about it, Nolan Ryan was on some of the worst teams ever. Like you know who Nolan Ryan actually is, and it's going to sound funny. He's Archie Manning. Archie Manning played on the worst teams ever in New Orleans.
Yeah, he was a much better quarterback than people give him.
He was a great athlete, super athlete. He was like a Cam Newton, running around, throwing the ball. He had all that time, but no one to throw it to. So when you don't know the history of the sport, you don't really know why people say they were great. Like why? Like if you told one of these kids David Thompson has the coolest rookie card. It's an oversized card, and he has the fro. I mean, it's a beautiful card. So if you know about David Thompson, look that card. I think it's a 74 Topps.
Okay.
Beautiful card. I'm talking about the card is exuding swag. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like the 69 set. Willis Reed is in that set. I have the Willis Reed and the Earl Monroe. Those are beautiful cards. You can get those, the tall boy cards. You can get those for a really good price, but you have to know the sport. You have to know what you're talking about to get to that card. So when I listen, like the kid Ryan Breakout Cards. What's the kid name? The kid that does the vintage cards.
Yeah. I think it's
Like
right.
listen to him is so refreshing because he knows what he's talking about. It's like
I
that's
agree.
the thing. I think the knowledge, not of
Hey, Mike, are you
multiple.
talking about this card right here?
Yeah, oh, most definitely. That is a beautiful card.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's on your phone or that's the card?
that's my phone.
Goddamn, that looked like the phone. That looked like you got it at your house. I ain't see it until I seen the little X. But that's a beautiful card, man. And I got to do better with these cards. But that's one of my favorite cards. And it's like when you know about the history of some of these guys, like this card right here, Tim Raines rookie card. This is a 1982.
Yeah,
but if you don't know about Tim Raines, you gotta know baseball to know Tim Raines. You gotta know who Willie McGee is. You have to know who Vince Coleman was. Vince Coleman was a absolute demon.
All those players, if you
bases.
don't know today, they are forgotten about though.
But that's the thing.
If you only talk about Ricky Henderson, they're forgot about.
But you know, someone they were talking about this. The guy, I think, Sports Card Anonymous. He's a local guy. He's here in Houston, but his YouTube channel does pretty well. Yeah, Dakota. Well, Dakota's he collects very similar to how I was thinking a couple of years ago with creating the museum. And he was talking about Bronco Nagurski and all these kind of cars. And the guy was saying, you're buying a bunch of cars nobody cares about. So I don't see that the value of these cards ever going anywhere. And his argument was you could not tell the story of the NFL without mentioning these gentlemen's names.
This is
and I thought
about
about
me saying that before 75, you got to talk about people in the NBA. Very similar.
You could talk. No, you could talk about them.
I'm talking about putting them on the all-time list. So let's look at Criminal Mind. Criminal Mind says, after FD said LeBron is 12th, I really said 11th all time. I can't take him seriously.
I can't take him seriously.
And then Connor says, after FD says Isaiah is not top 5 point guard, I can't take him seriously.
Ooh.
Hey, man.
And you know what, Connor?
But J Mike, I agree with you though about knowing the history and knowing the game and the players. I agree with you 1,000% on that.
Yeah, you have to
1,000%.
That's what I'm trying to do, J Mike.
And a lot of times, it just takes the want to want to learn. Like, a lot of people will say, "Oh, I wasn't born when Jordan was playing," but you can go. Jordan got so much footage, but even guys back in the 70s, you can find footage, even if it's little bits and pieces. You can find footage of those guys.
I'm gonna start sending J Mike.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna start sending J Mike some Oscar Robertson footage.
You can send it to me, but it probably won't show clear on my phone. It's gonna be a little hazy. I know one thing. You can send me Dr. J's rookie card, him taking off from the free throw line. I can see that translating somewhere.
Yeah.
David Thompson flying through the air.
Will says I'm rough on LeBron.
I ain't gonna lie.
You are rough on LeBron.
Your take kind of crazy, bro. That's a crazy take.
Yeah. Yeah. You take.
Mm.
You are rough on LeBron.
I'm not rough. How am I rough? He's top 11 all time.
If he's not in your top,
crazy.
He's not winning a championship.
Lance Allward, this is a bad. You know who's the most underrated? And he was the GOAT. Who was the GOAT receiver before?
Steve Largent.
Jerry Rice. Steve Largent. No one talks about Steve Largent. Steve Largent. He was a GOAT receiver, first one to 100 touchdowns in NBA history. So it's like one of those things where you have to know the history, and I'm a historian of it, but I'm able to know the history and then say, but he still wasn't better than this person. Based on how
Sin City says he's rolling with me now. There are people out here who think this way.
Man, there's nothing wrong being wrong. You can think it, but it's a little wrong. Look,
Sin City says LeBron's overrated.
Man, I think a lot of people don't like LeBron because he kind of started kind of talking political and stuff.
Look at Sylvester. Sylvester says that FD is hard on LeBron just as J Mike is hard on players before 1980.
Who? Name the player you think I'm hard on, and I'll tell you I give them respect. But when you compare them to the newer players, it just gets a little weird. It's just a little weird.
I got
like I have a question. How many years was Larry Bird good? 7?
6 or 7. Yeah, I was gonna say 6 or 7.
Now, with that being the case, is Bill Walton? Should he be in the top 75? but he was.
Yeah,
It was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So when you view things, you have to be able to view it correctly. Larry Bird was a great player. He wasn't better. Like now in retrospect, he's not ahead of Dirk Nowitzki. I can't do that. I can't do that.
No.
But you have him in your top 10.
No, I don't.
I thought you had Bird in your top 10.
No, sir. No, remember I told you Curry kicked him out? I got Bird number 14.
Damn,
as you talk more through this, this list is tight. You're starting to get down to like, oh, I'm starting to see the hell he's talking about.
Wait, let me hear the top 10. Let me hear it right quick.
You want me to go 25 up or one down? What you want?
No, I want to hear you one 10. Down. I don't know if I can take you 25. I could deal with you 10.
Yeah, do that. One down 10.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Okay.
Oscar Robertson.
Okay.
Magic Johnson.
Okay.
Kareem.
Okay.
Kobe Bryant. Bill Russell.
Okay.
Hakeem. Tim Duncan. Steph Curry. Wilt number 10.
Wilt 10.
Okay. Don't give me. Hey, I don't.
Erica, do you have Wilt? Erica, you got Wilt top 5.
I do.
I respect that.
I do.
So is it? So this is the thing with Wilt Chamberlain. The one thing that he has is that if you break down his numbers, it doesn't even look real. It's but he averaged 47 and 25.
Yeah, he was grabbing boards and scoring points all night long.
Well, J Mike, I understand where you're coming from, what you view, but I just know for me, like when I watched the footage, like I was digging deep to find footage of Wilt because there's not much out there. I found it and I watched it and I'm just like,
it's crazy.
He reminds me. I'm like, I'm not comparing it, but he just reminds me of like Giannis in terms of his athleticism and being able to get down court in like 2-3 dribbles and like yamming on you, coming back down, blocking your shot with one hand. His whole neck is above the rim. I'm like, imagine if he was playing in today's shoes. He had today's nutrition, today's that's why I was like, you got to consider the whole package of like dropping players off of errors. I'm like, Wilt will be the best player right now, hands down.
Yeah,
my mouth was just dropped when I was like, because I grew up hearing about Wilt, and then I never had the visuals. When I finally got the visuals, I was just like, I was almost on the floor, just like when I was watching Sweetness. When I saw footage of that, I'm like, oh my god! Like, and I'm not a big.
Somebody said earlier, Walter Payton will run around you or through you.
I was just like, oh my god, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like, so that is my point of view on it.
The person that said that about Walter Payton is wrong. And the reason why they're wrong, Peyton was known to go over top of you.
Yeah.
He wasn't going around you. He would go through you or over you. He was the first person to do the jump. He was the sky gummy to take flight on you. That's what he was known for. He to put the stiff arm. He had a strong stiff arm, and he wasn't Bo Jackson. He hit the corner and he out. That wasn't his thing. He was making contact with you. You was gonna feel him. You know what I'm saying? But like I have like I said, I have his rookie card as well in my other room. Or his rookie circle card. I have the 1970. That's 72. That's 72. I have that. I love him, but it's just that I try to separate. So like you just said, Wilt Chamberlain's head is at the rim, right? I bust my this right here. I bust my head on the rim.
Or like
I'm 6'1". So it's like when people say that kind of stuff, I put it in perspective based on the fact of being a athlete.
I can understand
certain things don't impress me if you're 7'1". But with Wilt, there's a video footage. I actually put him in one of my clips. He said he had he ran a 10. He said he ran 109 seconds. I bench pressed 600 pounds. And the interviewer goes, "Wait a minute, Wilt. He said have a 46-inch verb." He said like a whole bunch of things. And the interviewer says, "Wilt, you could bench 600 pounds." And he goes, 600 pounds. And he goes, "Wilt, you out of your mind." He said, "Well, if you're out of your mind, then something." He basically was saying a lot of stuff he was saying could have been some BS. But if you don't believe it, nobody else will. So I enjoy the Wilt stories. I think you need those legends. The legend to me is your story. And that's kind of the thing I like looking at. So when you look at just his sheer numbers, it's like, wow. So if someone says he's number one all time, I technically would not put up a huge argument because he's the most. I put people in classifications. Wilt Chamberlain is the most dominant athlete of all time in any sport.
I believe that.
I don't think anyone has been more dominant in any sport than Wilt Chamberlain.
Shaq tries to make comparisons to his dominance and Wilt's dominance.
I think Shaq's is the most physically dominating, where you're touching someone. It's like just pure brute force. But Wilt's numbers say something completely different. Shaq never put up those kind of numbers, and no one else will ever put up those type of numbers. So it's just a little bit different of how you classify people. I classify people differently. I think that's kind of probably the disconnect, is that I could say you're a great player, Hall of Fame player, but when I look at the grand scheme, I start putting things in real life. Like, okay, well, how would this person really do? Or like, give you a perfect example, Greg Maddux. One of the greatest. I think Greg Maddux is the top 10 pitcher of all time.
Yes, he is.
Greg Maddux didn't throw 90 miles an hour. He threw like 87 miles an hour. But he threw the ball exactly where he needed to throw it. So when you view someone like that, it's hard. Like, well, he didn't throw 100 miles an hour like Randy Johnson, or Bob Gibson, or Walter the Train. He didn't throw like those kind of guys. It was a
it's almost
game.
like Brady,
Koufax.
right? You could say Brady doesn't have the strongest arm, but he puts the ball where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but Brady. All right, so post 2011, Tom Brady was not better than Peyton Manning, and that's why I have no Peyton Manning. I have no Tom Brady cards. I never had a Tom Brady card, like a rookie or a nice card, because he was always a second-class citizen. He was a second-class citizen to Peyton Manning, always. And Brett Favre, he was not better than them. And then he eclipsed Brett Favre, but he still wasn't better than Peyton. When Peyton got hurt, that's when Brady actually jumped the broom, so to speak. But Brady has a solid arm, but Brady never got over the fact that he was looked over. He never got over the fact that Bill Belichick never really believed in him like that, or he never gave him the rings like Peyton did, where he could change the plays and call audibles and all that stuff. He always resented that, and I think that fueled him throughout his career. The fact that
but nobody places the ball better than Tom Brady. There's not one quarterback in the history of the game that places
Joe Montana. Joe Montana.
No.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. Brady didn't pass Joe Montana until the Atlanta Super Bowl for me. So Joe Montana is like that's a whole other thing. Joe couldn't throw the ball past probably 150 yards.
Is you saying Joe Montana's better than Tom Brady?
Until he won the Atlanta Super Bowl. When he won the Atlanta Super Bowl, he passed Joe Montana to me. That's me. But I'm talking about in 2011, he was not ahead of
no, he wasn't.
Peyton
I don't
Manning.
think he was. Yeah.
So that's what I mean. But he's unequivocally the GOAT now. But I'm talking about then. So that's why, like, looking at my collection, I have a bunch of Peyton Manning rookie cards, but I have none of Tom Brady. So it's like kind of weird how that happened, where I was collecting, but I chose not to buy his cards because I thought the person to buy was Peyton Manning. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of weird how that worked.
So there's a question here about Hall of Fame Nation Sports. Is KD in your top 20, FD? People think I'm just screwed. He's number 14. No, yeah, number 14.
Wait, where's Giannis?
Giannis? Number 13.
Where's Giannis?
I have Giannis is 21.
Wait, who plays for?
So Jay Mike, I know you're not saying that Giannis won a championship and he's top 10.
He has 2 MVPs, Defensive Player of the Year, and he came up clutch in those. It wasn't like he needed to be Giannis when he was Giannis.
Are you saying he's top 10 right now?
He's in that top. I think he's top 15.
I say Giannis, KD are going to be jumping in the top 10 probably next year.
Where do you have Dirk?
Dirk, 25.
Oh, okay.
What do you think about that?
That's tough, man. Like because I think if wherever you have Larry Bird, that could be Dirk Nowitzki's spot. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I view it kind of like that. So wherever you have him at that spot, that can most definitely be Dirk's spot. But it's just like he only got the one chip, and it can't. Was he still in his prime?
When he got
That
a
might have been.
championship, he was almost at
Yeah,
the end of his prime.
yeah. So that's a little bit different though. But the one person you made a compelling argument for, and it was Tony Parker. I think he's one of the slept
Yeah.
on
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
guards of all time. And
Oh, yeah.
but you know who else is slept on, and where do you have Paul Gasol?
Paul
All time.
Gasol, I don't have him in top 30.
He wasn't. Was Paul Gasol
Paul
in the top?
Gasol?
Was he a top? Was he a top 75?
I don't think.
No.
No, I don't
sir.
think he was.
That's
If
crazy.
Kobe didn't ride him, we wouldn't even be talking about Paul Gasol.
I don't think
Man,
Paul
that
was
dude-
in top 75.
Man, Paul was so beautiful to watch, man.
But you know
I
he got
agree,
done by Kevin Garnett in the finals, right? He got handled.
Garnett yelled at him and spit on him and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of hard having a dog bark on you like that.
Well,
And
dogs
you from
bark, you
France
gotta
or,
bite,
or,
man.
or
You
from Europe.
just can't curl up like that.
Yeah, but that was tough. But he did get 2 chips though. He did, and he helped cement Kobe's legacy. He helped him get
Yeah,
one
Paul
more than
Gasol
Shaq.
is not even in the equation, man.
But I'm just saying that. But you mean to tell me that Paul Gasol is not better than Elvin Hayes?
No, he's
He's not better than some of those Dave the Busher. He's not better than that dude. He's not better than George Mikan.
Boy, I'm telling you, it's interesting how I'm telling you between 75 and 77. Before that, it's like Thanos.
Hey, I was
exist.
born in 77, man.
I'm telling you, that's what I'm getting at.
Okay, Moses Malone. I don't argue with Moses Malone. Moses Malone was a dog.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I view it for how I view it. Charles Barkley. Where do you have Charles Barkley?
Chuck, number 19. Yeah. It's legit, man. Oh, yeah.
Where you got Malone?
Karl Malone, 23. I have Scottie Pippen at 22.
Where you have Chris Mullin?
Chris Mullin? He's not on the list, man. Chris Mullin? Come on.
Yeah.
No, it's not on the list. You're talking about Larry Bird. How many good years did Chris Mullin have? You know, when he went to the Dream Team, he didn't even play, right?
That was the greatest team ever assembled. That was the greatest team ever assembled.
Yeah, but there were several people that never played. Larry Bird was one of them. Never really played. Dream Team? Larry Bird did not play, man.
Larry Bird didn't belong on that team more than Christian Laettner didn't belong on that team.
Well, they did it because of who Larry Bird was, but he had bad.
Yeah. But Christian Laettner, that's my dog. Don't get me started on Christian Laettner.
Let's go through some of these questions. AI. Allen Iverson, I got at number 20.
I want to go back to the other comment about the foreign players and the love and the hobby.
Yeah,
I thought that was a great question that we should talk about.
Great point. One knock against Giannis, he's not American.
Great question,
I think the hobby will hold that against him. I believe the hobby does hold that against people.
I agree. I think it's so foul that the way the hobby works in terms of non-American players. Other than the exception is Luka, but
don't get me started on Luka.
Oh no, you can get started on it. I
don't want people to go because I don't want to introduce something. Okay. Luka is like he's amazing. He's amazing and all that stuff, but he is the savior. And when you have that I'm really pissed off because I was really a Luka. I like Luka a lot. But then when I start seeing the discrepancies between his cards and other people's cards, and then you start trying to figure out why is that, and you see it, and it's like it just becomes blatant. You know, it's like almost like, all right, bro, we get what's happening. When, like I said, when Larry Bird said that the game of basketball will not grow until kids or the people who spend the money have people that look like them. Mm-hmm. Now, I believe that being the fact that he is non-American and African American, not black, and he's that good, and they respect him. That goes a long way. But it feels he should not be 4 or 5 times more than They should not. They should not be. He should not be 4 times the price of Trae Young. Trae Young led the league in scoring points, and most assists this year.
Mhm.
He should not be. And I believe he's on a better team. Like record wise, I believe they have a better record than them. So it's like certain things we just kind of have to be a little real about. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like.
But you know what I like though is that everybody has their own list, right? Because like HOF says, Barkley is no way ahead of Pippen or Malone, and I find that interesting.
To have him Google
Yeah,
Charles
please
Barkley.
look up Charles Barkley.
Round mound to rebound.
Yeah,
Please go do
please
that
check
for
him
me.
out. Please
And
check.
and he has 1 MVP, but he should have had 2.
He should have more than one.
I
But this
believe it was
comment
the-
right here gets me right. Colorado says in just 10 years, the first part I can kind of vibe with. It would be fun to see what top 10 lists are. I'm excited for Jokic where he lands. But the last part, Aaron Donald's going to be the best defensive player of all time. That will never happen.
No.
Aaron Donald will never be the best defensive player of all time.
No.
And if you now we talk about the history of the game, you go back and look at defensive players. I mean, Aaron Donald's never going to be better than Lawrence Taylor.
Man, I got to be honest with you. He's not better than Reggie White.
Well, I was about to say that second. Like he's never going to be better than Reggie White.
And you know who and the person that didn't get to fulfill his talent is Jerome Brown.
Yeah, he did not.
Yeah. He was the one that died. He died soon. I have a PSA. I have a PSA 10 of his rookie card. He's the one that was supposed to be that guy. He was better than Reggie White. That's what everyone said. They thought that he was that guy. But you know, he didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, part of the story is making it. You know, you have to make it. You know, you have to be able to live to see it out. And a lot of people don't get those opportunities. Like, you know, I went to college with a bunch of guys and played against a bunch of different guys, and they didn't make it. They didn't make it out of high school, you know, and they were like the most talented and all that kind of stuff. So sometimes there's a lot of luck that has to be, you know, on your side, you know.
So the next time we're on, we gotta go through everybody top 25, top 30 list. J Mike, I gotta hear some of these names,
man, it's gonna be crazy because you know I never thought about it like that. And it's like when you talk about your top rappers of all time.
Yeah.
You're always gonna leave people out. But like, so say for instance, like look at like LL Cool J. LL Cool J technically is the greatest of all time. He created the acronym.
Yes, he is.
He created the GOAT acronym, literally. Yeah. But is he better than Jay-Z? Jay-Z is my guy. I'm a Jay-Z guy. But is he better than Jay-Z? I can't say that. Is he better than Tupac?
Hold up, J Mike. Are you saying Jay-Z is the greatest rapper of all time?
Oh, most definitely, 100%. Jay-Z is my Oprah. Jay-Z is literally my Oprah.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Jay-Z is the greatest rapper of all time?
Oh, 100%. Now you gonna talk about some cool. You sound like you about to say some old Kool Moe Dee type shit. But
no, I'm gonna go to Big and Pop.
Big does not have a. Hold on, let's keep this a buck right here. Biggie Smalls might have been more talented.
So now you're talking about the amount of tracks that's in the catalog.
He does not have the
catalog right now. That's what I'm talking
about. Yes.
You're talking about catalog.
He has two albums. You can't have 2 albums and beat someone
Big,
who has 13 number ones.
Under that argument, is Mobb Deep better than Big?
Mobb Deep doesn't have a extensive catalog.
They got more tracks than Big.
That's not a fair.
They have two class. You can't do that per se. And Prodigy and hold on, and Prodigy doesn't rhyme. So like I'm not the biggest Mobb Deep fan like that. You know, but I look at things just a little bit different perspective. Like I have a little knowledge of music. I remember I was in college when Pac died. I remember crying twice because when they said he died and then they said he didn't die.
That's right.
Then we went back out there and he died. So I was on the yard. I remember it distinctively. I believe that Tupac had a bigger catalog than Big. So I technically try not to put Jay-Z into that mix. I believe is Pac and Big in their own genre, like their own little thing. I kind of link more Jay-Z with Nas. You know what I'm saying? It's just a little bit different, you know what I'm saying, in terms of how you do it. But if you had to look at the blueprint, is Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z did what everyone else wanted to do and became to the point where he was able to sign Nas. Nas was his artist after they beefed. Where he, you know what I'm saying?
What's your top 3 rappers, man? I just got to hit. I got to wrap my head around this.
Honestly,
number one, Jay-Z.
Jay-Z number one. I would say Tupac under normal circumstances, but I kind of take Biggie and Tupac to the table. They both died at 25, 26 years old. They did not get a chance to live. But I would say Kanye, Drake.
Okay.
Kanye is the second best rapper of all time.
That's the pick.
But also you have to realize Joe Budden is one of
my. Look at my
Joe.
face.
Hold on, Joe Budden is in my top 5 rappers as well. Because
are you serious right now?
Hold on, now listen. I didn't say he was the best, but I love Joe Budden. I love Joe Budden.
Come on, man.
But you're talking about music is different because you're talking about something that you enjoy listening to. Like not is I think it's a little bit different comparing that to sports and stuff. But like there are guys who collect. Like, I just watched the video. He's a Detroit guy. His name is number 30, Corey Schlesinger.
Yeah.
The guy, Santiago Sports.
Yeah.
He PCs him. I would never PC that player to that extent. I correct Christian
Santiago. Yeah, but Santiago's from Detroit. Corey Schlesinger was. I mean, he was the man in Detroit.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that.
But I'm just saying, like, I collect Christian Laettner, so I kind of shouldn't have said that. But I don't go to that point where I'm still rocking the Christian Laettner jersey I got beat up for when I was 12 and 13 in 1993. But I do remember that kind of thing. It's rare that you find players like that. B.J. Armstrong was kind of a player that I looked at who was, I really enjoyed him. But typically that's not the players that you follow like that, But music, Joe Budden was someone who was the first. Joe Budden was the first reality star because he started filming himself when everyone else thought it was weird. He was on Periscope with his relationships. He got punched in the eye by Wu-Tang Clan and then went to the internet with an ice pack with vegetables on his face. He was like the first social media person in hip hop. And I remember him also being very vulnerable, like talking about like drug addiction and all that kind of stuff, which I've never had.
He was on drugs when he was at his peak.
Yeah, well, no, actually his peak is now. Like he's
I'm talking about as an artist.
As an artist.
He did Pump It Up and all that. Joe Budden was.
But see, if you know anything about real Joe Budden hip hop, his mood music series is what made him a legend to the people who follow him. You have even Mood Music 4, which is an absolute classic. But the second one, all of those are really good albums to me. But he's someone that he would be my PC player in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like you got other people who might be better than him, but he's someone that I enjoy listening to.
When I asked the question, I never would have thought you'd have said Joe Budden.
I'm a different dude, man.
That's what's up. FD, who's your top 3?
I would say Big Pac, Rakim.
That's dope. Mine's is Nas, Lil' Kim, and Jay. In that order.
I respect that. You know why? Because Jay-Z wrote a lot of her stuff.
Yes, it's correct.
Yeah,
Jay-Z wrote a lot of people.
I love me some Lil' Kim. I listen to her almost every day still. Well, all 3 of them actually. But
I just wish she loved herself.
I agree.
Respectfully, but like I said, that's a little more. It's a little bit different. Where does 50% rank? Where 50 Cent rank? 50 Cent is his own entity.
Yeah,
he has two good albums.
I always say if he never made "It's Your Birthday," what's the name of that song?
No, it's not that one. It's AO Technology is the one that ended him. AO Technology.
Oh, I'm talking about if he'd have never had that on his first album. Who was 50 Cent?
Oh no, he had a bidding war before that. The Art of Getting Robbed. He already had the Art of Getting Robbed.
Oh, I get all that, but I'm talking about to the masses. If that song is not on his first album, 50 Cent is a totally different artist coming out the gate.
Wait, hold on. 50 Cent also has one of the top 10 greatest albums of all time. That first one.
Yeah, but I'm still going to argue the fact that if that one song by Dr. Dre is not on that first album, that's a totally different album.
Many Men, P.I. Like he has some bangers on that album, man. like that first album is a actual classic. Like that.
Yeah, but J. Mike,
is,
think about the masses are not listening to the Mini Men.
Well, I'm
He
not
took his
mad.
career to another
hey, I
level
was in the
with
club,
one
like
song.
I was running the streets nice and good during that Get Rich or Die Trying. Actually, you know, I hear something crazy. I was a school teacher when Get Rich or Die Trying came out. I sold probably 1,000 burnt bootleg copies to my students in in
You've been flipping
2003.
for years, man.
I had me a CD burner and I was in there cooking.
What do y'all put? What do y'all put DMX?
I would have to look at the list. I don't know.
Somebody said MC8. Wow. Okay. All right.
But he's one of the greatest. I just don't know what number he fall in, but one of the greatest.
Yeah, it's interesting. We got KRS-One.
You know, I know y'all said like the catalog, but like Lauryn Hill, for example, basically her catalog is that one album, but it's one of the greatest albums ever.
This is my point. That's why I'm not really worried about
so
catalog.
Yeah, so that's why like you got certain artists is like Lauryn Hill, that album.
Yeah, you just put it in, press play, and keep rolling.
Forever. For 1,000 years from now, the same thing. Like, so.
Yeah, MCA. Okay. Method Man. All right. People naming stuff here. Interesting.
I see.
J. Mike, you got no love for Method Man? You have no love for Method Man, huh? J. Mike, what happened to your sound, bro? Your sound is off.
I want to hear what he's saying about Method Man.
Yeah, I want to hear
Hello,
what
you hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you,
hear
brother.
me?
What's up with Method Man, man?
Method Man's he's cool. He has a couple of
METH?
good songs. Oh, MOT, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. But what else? After Method Cow, what else you got? What other albums? What we talking about?
Oh boy, man.
Like he doesn't have an extensive solo catalog.
He doesn't.
Like he's not ahead of Jadakiss. He's not ahead of Styles P.
Jadakiss is pretty high on the list.
Very.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit different. Like based on what
I know y'all saw the verses,
like
with Jadakiss and them verses.
Yeah, that was Dipset, Cameron.
That was a destruction right there.
Yeah, that was. But people wanted to listen to what he had to say. I didn't think it was gonna go that way, but it went that way.
Interesting. I've learned a lot tonight, huh? I've learned a lot. People think I'm really tough on LeBron. J. Mike doesn't give a damn about before 1977. Before he went wham, he doesn't give a damn about that, right?
Hey man, I love 1970. That was the greatest year of all time. But they don't belong. They don't belong.
Oh man. Oh, Criminal Minds.
Man,
Public Enemy top 5. Okay.
Top 5 what?
He said.
No. Top 5 what? Top 5
rappers, man.
No, but you can't say that are they a top 5 group all time? I would say no. I would say they're top 5 most influential hip hop group of all time. Yes. They had political stances and things of that nature. Without them, they couldn't have been an NWA. Like there are steps that happens along the way. It's just a little bit different when you're viewing. Like I said, I can put people in categories, and then as long as they're matched up correctly, like you can't take a onion and compare it to a kiwi. You know what I'm saying? You have to separate those joints. Onion.
The onion of the kiwi. What's before 1977?
Most definitely, the onion is most definitely 1977.
Okay, all right.
You know, but like I said, I like baseball. Like,
Michael talked about Luke Skywalker.
Shit, I'm yeah, all that Band in the USA. I had that album.
Yeah.
I remember. I'm just somebody who could just I could take and pull stuff out of the situation. You know what I'm saying? But look, I want to say before we go.
What you got, man?
So I had my
Yeah,
rookie
Too Short is
card.
in Oakland, Joe. Go ahead.
My rookie card is in the strongest ever trading card set. And these are packs of cards of strong men, of the strongest people to ever walk the earth, right? You have they have a scale or a rating. It actually comes with a little sheet. Now, one of the issues with this is that it's not like a pack. Like, this is a pack, but it doesn't, you don't get a rip. You know what I'm saying? You get your cards,
Yeah.
and it's like a 50 card set. They have like a power rating, how you rate each person gets rated, and how, you know, like my score is an 82 out of 100, and you know, there are people with like a 90, like a 98 or something all the time, right? So like I wouldn't be a top 10 kind of guy. I'll be more like a top 30 type player, right? But I know my role, you know what I'm saying? I'm not tripping. But where I put it? Oh, so these are recognized by Beckett. So they're recognized by Beckett. You can get them graded. I'm having on my website is athletikovereverything.com. I have it available for $7 for the base, but then the autograph version goes for $15. But they have 3 different autograph cards. Now it probably sounds crazy, like, why does this dude have a card? If you Google me, and you'll probably see some of the stuff that I do. I do a bunch of crazy stuff. It's not like I'm just telling you I hit my head on the rim for nothing. I've been on ESPN, Bleacher Report, and all that stuff. But these are the first generation of this particular card. So like the Jackass cards, the what's the word? The Gary V ripoff stuff. This is that. So like as this goes on over the period of time, this is the first card ever with the rookie designation on it. They never did a rookie card until mine. So this has that little keynote. And you spend $75, you get one for free on my website. But
you got some nice gear too. Yeah, let everybody know about your gear, man. You got some nice clothes out there.
Oh yeah,
very
so
nice.
I have a clothing line. It's athlete to the moon, baby. It's athletikovereverything.com. I use like the best quality clothes, and it reflects like kind of how I collect my cards. I like having the best stuff, but at the same time, I would say it's affordable. It's not cheap, but like I have the no hobbies, only obsession stuff that I came up with. I don't personally consider, I don't know if y'all saw it, but so like we have no hobbies, only obsessions. This was actually started. I don't believe that sport cards is a hobby. We spend way too much money on this stuff. Like there are things that happen where you either go on vacation or you don't because you bought this rookie card or you bought this box of cards. It's too much involved in it for a hobby at certain levels. Like Drake sport cards might be a hobby. He's worth a couple of $100 million, close to $1 billion. So for him, it's a hobby. But when you're investing the type of money that some of us has put into this, I kind of think it's almost disrespectful just to view it as a hobby. And I came up with this because I became a world champion as a powerlifter because I took it very serious. I didn't view it as something that I just did casually. So that's how I came up with no hobbies, only obsessions. But then I got back into sport cards and it kind of went along. So I have all this stuff on my website.
That's dope.
Donovan. Donovan wants to tell you all, I love what you collect, and J Mike, y'all were fired tonight.
Oh, appreciate it. No, J Mike, I love it. Like seriously, I love it. That's awesome.
I can't tell you all how much I have enjoyed this. Before I got on, I was trying to anticipate everything that we would talk about. And it's beyond anything I could ever imagine when I get on with you all. We talk about
you didn't have no music on there. I didn't see that. I didn't see we were gonna talk about Joe Button.
So yeah, I never thought I would say, "What's your top 5?" Somebody man, hey, Joe Button, man. You know, but I respect it. I like listening to different opinions. We may joke and laugh, and somebody may write something in. I'm like, man, you're crazy. But I like hearing what different people think. You know, that's what it's all about, right? Just like somebody listen to me and say, I'll say LeBron's gonna be 11. People are like, what is he talking about? That's really what I feel. I didn't say that for sure.
Your audience, I know they're gonna say I talk a lot. Yes, I talk a lot. I do. I can't control it. That's just my personality. I'm what you would call a mic. So with that being the case, I just talk. So that's just kind of how it is. I can't help it. It is what it is. I already know they're gonna be like, man, that boy J Mike, he could talk.
It's like Tom said, you can't have a conversation without strong opinions. So enjoy, y'all. Keep
I'm on the East Coast too, Tom.
Right. That's what's
Yes,
up. Tom,
East
I
Coast
appreciate you being here. I appreciate
Yes.
it. And
For sure.
Hall of Fame is it's like ordinary love is the bomb. No?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate you all being here. You know, we
For
got to
sure.
get together. We got to get together again in the future and talk about more stuff and give more opinions and talk about the hobby a little bit more too and about what's happening in it. We'll see what's going on in these playoffs. You know, I think we were on the other day and JD the Collector made a good statement that we could speculate on what's going to happen in the NBA playoffs. Like we're talking about Ja right now. We're gonna have some games here where we're gonna see what certain people do and how they step up and what happens with them. And then we'll come back and talk about that.
For sure.
Well, it's cool to have Los Angeles via Chicago, Philadelphia, and Houston on this call right now.
I know.
Well,
right?
I'm New Orleans. Like, I live in Houston. I'm a New Orleanian.
Well, Houston via New Orleans. It's cool to have everybody on here and be able to talk about stuff. And you know, that's why I want to kick off Rolling with FD to talk to all different types of people and give different personalities and concepts. And there are some, you know, that we might have some viewers tonight that we got 3 African Americans here from all over the country talking about things. May have never seen that until tonight, but they're gonna see more and more of it.
For sure.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about. So I appreciate.
Hey, also, stop letting influencers rob y'all. Stop it.
Hey, I say the same thing. I tell J Mike all the time, man, don't let these influencers rob you, man.
I agree,
man.
I totally agree.
You got to think for yourself. Number one,
think for yourself. Do your research
and do what you want to do. Like,
right. Do your research.
Now, buy my car though. Buy my car though, for real though. Like, you should do that though.
Yeah,
y'all
right?
be letting these people rob y'all. Go spend $7. Oh, it's free shipping on the card if you use Rookie as a promo code. Rookie is a free shipping.
Okay.
So
for sure,
you'll be surprised. I'm pretty cool. I'm pretty dope. I do some codes. I'm a state dunk champion too. 1996, I won the state dunk championship in Louisiana. So
awesome.
You know, I'm a big dude. 360s. I'm 300 pounds. I could dunk 360. I was Zion before Zion. Listen, I know it sounds crazy.
Oh, if anybody seen your video,
if
anybody seen your videos of dunking, they wouldn't think it sounds crazy.
Yeah.
The fun thing is gonna be when we all get together in person one day. That's gonna be fun.
So so what's the next? I'm probably never gonna do a nationals. Nothing. I don't spend no money on no cards. So I probably won't do no big event. I'll probably do
I want to actually come down to Houston, I think, next year for the TriStar show.
Man, I've never gone to that show.
That's why we're gonna kick it there, J-Man.
But if y'all come, I'll go to the show for sure. I'll barbecue for you and everything.
All right.
All right, bet.
Yeah.
All right. It's gonna be fun. Do y'all have anything you want to say before we get up out of here?
Everybody, thanks for joining us. Enjoy this NBA playoffs. I think it's going to be very enjoyable, like last year, probably even better. And appreciate both of you guys too.
All right.
Most definitely, same here.
Thank you all. I appreciate everybody that's here. Thank you all for being here. Y'all know now we're gonna cut this up into some funny segments, so you just get ready.
Sure.
Thank you all very much. I appreciate you, J-Man. Erica, I appreciate you.
No problem.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Later.